afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Hardin-Peterson baseball field up at Woodbridge High School. My name is Kyle Anderson, and I am accompanied here with my good friend and a great athlete, former Woodbridge Township athlete, and one of our recreation directors here, Mr. Bobby Tominski.
Hey, Kyle, thank you. Thank you for having me. This is an honor to be here. What a beautiful afternoon for some baseball. I'm excited. I've been very busy. I haven't actually seen the Barons in action yet. I'm very close with the coaching staff, and I've been following the progress, but I'm excited for today's matchup here against what seems to be a very tough, pretty accomplished South River team.
Yeah, South River, although they've played in the Blue Division, they are about 500, I believe. Their record
actually a little bit better. They're 13-5.
13-5. Okay, sorry about that. To the South Brunswick Rams. Absolutely. So for our visitors, we have Jimmy Sanchez, who will be leading off, Julius Rosado, James Sori, Hunter Kransky. We have Noah Barrero, Julian Burosivic, Brendan Lell, Travis Maloney, and Sebastian Dearson is batting ninth. And for the Woodbridge Barons, if you'd like to give that team.
Yeah, sure. For the Woodbridge Barons, we have leading off for the Barons will be Gavin Slickner. Number 2, Javier Diaz in the second spot. Number 3, Ryan Leach batting third. Number 21, Derek Oxnauer batting fourth. Number 10, Michael Jurovich batting fifth. Number 8, Brian German batting sixth. Number 2, Brian Pereira batting seventh. Number 9, Nick Lukacek batting eighth. And batting ninth, number 5, Derek Anderson.
And we have Ryan Leach on the hill for Woodbridge, and here's the first pitch. And Ryan, bringing the heat there.
Sure is. I saw earlier, Ryan's a pretty accomplished pitcher. I'll find out where he was going to college, but I know he's committed to go somewhere. So the Barons have what looks to be their ace on the mound to start off this GMC County tournament.
Yep, and research shows that he's going to Post University.
Post University,
yeah,
excellent.
Which Division II program up in Connecticut.
The CW Post, I think.
No, that was CW Post was in Long Island, which is now LIU, and now Post University is in Connecticut.
I'm glad you have the current information.
I just came off of the whole recruiting tour.
That's true. You're more familiar with it at the moment than me.
All right, and right now we look like we have a 2-1 count.
And a beautiful new scoreboard that we have here, I just noticed. I know that was being installed earlier this spring, but again, it's another one of the major upgrades that make this place a special place.
Makes a difference for the fans and us alike.
Absolutely.
See what Ryan does here for his fourth pitch. Hey, just missed.
Must be a little low.
A little low or a little outside. Ryan has been known to get his fastball up over 90 miles an hour. It's around 92 from what I understand.
Wow.
6'3".
Yep.
Very lanky.
Yep.
Perfect wingspan.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right.
First batter gets a free one.
That's right. Next up.
Okay, next up is Julius Rosado.
Number 25, Julius Rosado.
He's the player that everyone has made mention in Middlesex County. He's got a full ride to Rutgers University.
Yep.
He's a big home run hitter, quality pitcher.
On the season, he's got 27 hits and 25 RBIs, and as you had mentioned earlier, that's somebody who they don't pitch too often, so to have those amount of hits.
That's right. So Ryan's going with the off-speed with him right now, and pretty wise because he's a player, if you challenge him, he could take you deep.
Yep, batting 500 exactly on the season with a .963 slugging percentage.
Oh my goodness, wow. We talk about a player like Rosado, and it's rare that you'd see a player like that not at a private school.
Correct.
Right? And it's really nice to see. Refreshing.
Refreshing is the word you took right out of my microphone here. It is refreshing, and you're starting to see that a little more in a lot of sports. You saw Plainfield with the success of their players staying home this year. Aiden Durkak at Colonia, who obviously could have gone just about any high school in the country for that matter, staying home and staying local. And it's important. I think it's important as a public school coach and a guy that grew up in the public school system to stay home.
Absolutely.
And you're more important to your public school most times than you are to a private school. Not to diminish the private experience, but
no, not at all. But you know, a small town like South River could easily lose a kid to one of the big baseball schools that we see around the state.
Absolutely, credit to him. So we have a 2-0 count here. Leach having a little early trouble trying to find some strikes, but he'll get it going.
This is an important at-bat for South River, and this is an important strike that Ryan needs to throw here. But a walk wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Not with this guy. If he could put one over that fence at 358 back there.
Yeah.
So he looks like he got him with the off-speed changeup there.
Good pitch there, and he earned himself a strike, and let's see if he stays with that. I'd try to, you know, see if I can get one in the dirt, maybe.
Yeah, keep it away. Like you said, putting him on an empty first base wouldn't be the worst thing in the world right now.
Okay, 3-1.
So the Barons, as everybody, in case you don't know, is the #1 seed in the GMC tournament, which I think is the first time, in, at least I can remember. I don't know if ever. Certainly, I'm sure we've been the #1 seed before, but quite an honor after coming from the white division up to the red division and then earning the #1 seed, beating, you know, a lot of really good teams along the way to earn that seed.
Yeah, Joe Ward, the athletic director here, did some research, and in recent history, he couldn't find a 1 seed. So, you know,
credit to the coaches, the community, the athlete, the whole school. That when something like that happens, it really is a huge effort from a lot of people along the way. As you know, having a son on the team, a lot of these kids grew up playing together in our little league and then our rec league and then all the travel teams. It's nice to see the hard work being rewarded.
Yeah, we see a lot of these boys pretty much are Woodbridge Little League or Ford's Little League.
Yeah, which is great. Homegrown.
Okay. And Ryan walks Rosado.
Next up, number 35, James, I believe Zori?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Z is a Z-S-O-R-E-Y.
If there's a better spelling than that, or if there's a better sound pronunciation, please send it to us on Facebook. We are on Facebook Live.
Yes, we are.
And we're also on YouTube.
And James is the second best hitter on this South River team with 20 hits and 25 RBI. So James is a pretty good player himself. He's a senior as well.
Let's see if we can get him to put this ball in play and maybe turn 2. Here we go.
Oh, Ryan reared back on that one.
Way ahead of him on that pitch. And it can get a little gusty up here at this field, so you know we're up on a hill, and sometimes the ball will carry a little bit if the batter gets a hold of one.
Yeah, he will, absolutely. I could feel the wind blowing out.
Yeah.
You can definitely feel. You can see from the flag too the direction it's going.
Beautiful with the trees all full bloom now, and the leaves are on the trees.
And as we've said. Oh, Leach in his zone a little bit here. As we've said, I mean, these facilities here, it's top notch. We're not just saying it because it's, you know,
it's Woodbridge.
It's Woodbridge, but it truly is. And
it's a baseball and softball little facility with 4 fields right next to each other, and you can get the JV and softball and boys and girls going at the same time. And that pitch looked a little outside, but Ryan Leach is still way ahead. It's a 1-2 count. You know, sometimes when you're a power pitcher like this, you know, you want to blow one by a guy, and sometimes you just have to trust your fielders, let them put the ball in play.
Absolutely.
And you know, you'll get your strikeouts.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you could overthink it.
Yeah.
Throw it, don't think it. And he seems to, after the first 2 batters, really been locked in here in this. This is good to see. He's pitching differently.
And he hits that one out to right field. That's Bryant Piera. He's having trouble.
Wow,
and he had to get those shades down. The sun is bright, and for the right fielder, he was looking directly into that sun.
Directly into the sun is right.
Yeah.
And they held the runner on first because it was a little too close for comfort, but number 3 did advance from second to third. So we have 1 out with runners on first and third. Up next is number 8, Hunter Kransky. And Hunter, let's check out Hunter's stats. Hunter is a junior. He's got only 18 at-bats on the year, 6 for 18, so he's not as many at-bats as the others, but he's in a big spot here early on in this GMC tournament.
Absolutely. And, Zori was able to move over Sanchez over to third base, so you have first and third with 1 out, and the number 4 hitter up.
Runner goes.
And Bobby, you would know this being a very experienced basketball player and coach. I always say the county tournament is a harder tournament to win than the state tournament.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, you know, you have a small Group 1 school from South River, who I don't think we played each other this year, but you don't know much about them. You know, you're a target now because you're the number 1 seed. There's bragging rights within the GMC, and it's the GMC really in all sports. It's underestimated for how competitive it can be, especially around county tournament time, as you mentioned.
Sure. Ryan lands that one for a strike, so he's ahead here on this batter, and it counts 1 and 2.
And not for nothing, particularly on the boys' side, you know, the divisions are certainly different, but not as much as they are, let's say, on the girls' side. So you can have a blue division team that, particularly on a good day, is as good as others, you know, so it makes it very competitive.
Oh, yeah.
You can't take anything for granted, that's for sure. And I know Coach Monaco and staff are not. That's
right. And one good pitcher can change everything for a team, especially in softball, but in baseball
even more so.
You get one good pitcher, and
who's hot for that day, and
guys have trouble hitting them.
Absolutely, you know? and it's you know, it's a game of failure. Usually, even if you're good, you're only hitting 3 out of 10 times. So if everybody's in a bad spot, you never know in baseball. It's and also too, which factors in is now with high school pitch counts, you know, we're looking at a top of the first, which is throwing a lot of pitches. You know, so you're going to go deeper into this lineup. Does that affect? Does it come out earlier than maybe coach would have wanted? Who's going to be in for relief? You know, and how experienced are they? So it's baseball is a tricky game where some of those things really factor in.
And then that changes as you advance, because how many pitchers you have available.
Right.
And
yeah, you won't. If you're anticipating winning or hoping to win, you can't blow your whole staff in one outing. But you got to. This is win and survive, or survive and advance. So it's still early, but you can see how the strategy is going to start to factor in.
Yeah, Hunter Kransky fouls one off there. So this is a 3-2 count, 1 out, man on second and third.
And this is almost about 15 minutes top of the first. So,
and he's thrown quite a few pitches already.
And we still only have 1 out.
So this is where you know, a pitcher really wants to learn the zone of this umpire. You know, he's got to learn the zone. What pitches is he going to call, and you got to try to hang around there. So we got the bases loaded, 1 out.
Yep.
We got the number 5 hitter. So this is Barrero. First
so
name.
Noah Barrero is the catcher. He's got 14 hits on the year. He's batting .292 with a .396 slugging percentage. And this is also, too, where it's good to have Leach, who's an experienced veteran on the mound. You know, a younger pitcher here may overreact. He's been through this, I'm sure. He'll pitch his way out of it. One
of the things that's been a real blessing this year for the Woodbridge pitching rotation is the rise of Kevin Arroyo. We had a injury to Mike Mansfield early on the year. And Mike Gorovich is the number 2 pitcher, but Kevin Arroyo's come in and really helped this staff be one of the more premier staffs. This is Woodbridge's first year in the red division.
Right,
to
absolutely.
come in and win the red division, and I attribute that to the fact that they were able to find a 3rd pitcher.
Believe it or not, Coach Lammers coaches with me on the girls' side during the winter, and he said one of his concerns with going to the red division was pitching. So credit to their staff, and a credit to our kids for being ready to go.
Stepping up.
And if you don't have pitching, there's such a drop off.
Absolutely.
I remember when Harry would pitch years ago, it was lights out, and then 2 days later, it's like a different team.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so here he is. He's unfortunately in a 3-0 count. He's really got to deliver a
Coach
strike
Monaco
right now.
may want to head out there and just get
get him if he walks
get him
this
just
one.
just to relax a little bit and realize there's a lot of baseball left. It's still early.
All right, let's see.
There we go.
Gave him a strike there.
Not unlike I'll use my, of course, basketball analogies. You need a few shots to go in. The pitcher needs a few strikes to get him going, and all you need is a feel. And then all of a sudden, everything kind of changes. It gets in your rhythm, and you start to pitch like you can. And I think once he gets a few more strikes going, I think we're going to start to dominate here as a pitching. There we go. See 2 in a row.
Yeah.
You can tell immediately. Just by his body language alone, you can see he's got his confidence now.
And really, it's just like in basketball. The hoop gets a little bit bigger. The umpire wants to see that you're going to be consistent with your throws before he starts giving you that strike on the outside corner.
Hey, it's the GMC tournament for them too. These are the best stumps that we have, and they're adjusting to the game, and they're maybe nervous as well.
All right. Barrero took a cut at that one, fouled that off. So it's 3-2 count. So this is where you want to see him, you can take a little something off of this one. You want to make sure you get it over the plate. Let this kid, take a cut.
Hey, let our fielders make a play.
That's right.
There's out at any base, like we say in Little League, right? Out at any base.
There we go. Okay. Barrero is battling.
And still only 1 out. Bases loaded here, top of the first.
Clear day out here.
Beautiful day. Actually, the wind has died down a little bit too. It's not as windy as it has been for sometimes up here.
Yep, ball 4 brings in a run.
So it's 1-0 South River early. Look, the scoreboard I think is incorrect. It has it as a home. It
home,
should be.
We're gonna get that straight.
Should be fixed. But South River has a 1-0 lead early, and I got a feeling. The Knicks game is at 7:30, so hopefully we'll be done before then. But this game is going to be a long baseball game here. This game is not going to be won at the top of the first, I can tell you that.
It could be a long one. The way it started, South River came to play.
Yeah, and if you're South River, you got to be thrilled right now. You're sitting here where Ryan has thrown multiple pitches. He hasn't found his zone yet. I got a feeling it's coming, and they're going to be in a different spot real quickly. But Woodbridge meeting at the mound, telling everybody let's relax, a lot of baseball to play. And this is where, as a coach, it really is important to have that relationship with your pitcher.
It is.
To get him to understand, or maybe to know how your pitcher reacts to certain things. And I'm sure with a senior veteran who's on his way to play college baseball, this is just a matter of getting relaxed and in his zone. It's coming.
Yeah, and this is a part of being a pitcher. You have to work yourself out of situations. You get yourself in a situation, work your way out. One pitch at a time.
Absolutely.
So we're right now down to the 7th batter. So I got to imagine that the coach's advice to him was make him earn a strike, maybe even 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you don't want to be walking the 7th hitter right here. Let him put it in play. There's already 1 out on the board, so. And honestly, with bases loaded, you turn 2 and get out of here with only 1 run given up, Woodbridge will be in a good spot.
Here we go. All right, curveball doesn't land.
And Woodbridge does, I look over to the bullpen, have someone warming up. I don't know whom, but they do have somebody up. So Coach Monaco being a little proactive just in case we start to get close to that pitch count or we start to get to a point of maybe needing somebody to come in, but it's still early.
And that's going to be an out to center field if Derek Anderson gets under it and locates it. He's going to tag. Here comes the throw.
Got him.
What a throw.
What a throw. I'll comment on that.
Yes, thank
to
you.
avoid the conflict of interest, but that was a terrific play. As we mentioned, the sun was in the center fielder, Derek Anderson's eyes. He came up not only cleanly catching it, but throwing a bullet to home plate.
The ball was hit right to the W, and you know, that was where this was the challenge. If it was hit deep, you don't even take, you don't have to take a shot.
He was coming in, and he knew as soon as I catch this, I'm throwing it, and he did. What a play! What a way to get out of what would look like to be a difficult spot for the Barons. Derek Anderson, along with Ryan Leach, hanging in there, giving them, like you said, a pitch to hit. Well, we go to the bottom of the first, only down 1-0.
Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a little break, and we'll go through the Woodbridge lineup when we come back, but hang in there. Okay.
All right, good. That was a hell of a catch.
Woo, man.
And I knew he'd catch. I wasn't sure with the sun if it was going to, at the very end, get him out of whack. Because, I mean, we're burning up right now. I can imagine. I was trying to catch a baseball.
And you come in there and you want to throw that one hopper.
Yep.
You know, but yeah, good for him. Okay, and who's this pitching? Who's this pitching for them?
The pitcher.
No. For
South River.
For South River, I'm looking at him. That's James Zori is the pitcher.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right, welcome back to Hardin-Peterson Field, and I'm here, Kyle Anderson here with Bobby Tominski, and we're here in the bottom of the first inning of the GMC tournament, down 1-0 Woodbridge. And Bobby, what was your take on that first half of the inning?
I think Woodbridge got lucky there. I think our pitcher, struggled to throw strikes, which happens, and luckily he had the savvy to give the last hitter a pitch to hit, and then our fielders made plays, finished off with a great throw by Derek Anderson into the home plate to get the third and final out of the inning. So it was bases loaded with only one out, and South River was only able to get one on the board, which is a tremendously good sign for the Barons going forward.
Yep, and we're going to be leading off with Gavin Slickner, who is our shortstop. And Gavin had a really good last game against Elizabeth, and he had 2 home runs in the game. He had a slow start this year, but he's going to be followed by Xavier Diaz. Ryan Leach will be batting third. Derek Oxner will be batting fourth. Michael Gurovich at fifth, in the fifth spot. Brian German, Brian Pereira, Nick Lukacek, and Derek Anderson will be in the ninth position. But I had the pleasure of coaching Gavin Slickner as a little leaguer, and Gavin he was a smaller kid. He has gotten so big. You look at his back from over here, you can tell he's spending a lot of times in the weight room.
Absolutely. I had seen him on the basketball court this year, and I was shocked at how athletic he looked, how much his body had changed, and that's what happens. Development takes time, and these kids have been working, all of them, for a very long time. So Gavin is up. And that's swings at the first pitch.
All right, that's
one out, caught by the right fielder. Next up, Javier Diaz. Javier, I got the Woodbridge stats in front of us here. Javier has 18 hits on the year. He's 18 for 52, batting .346 with a slugging percentage of .481. So pretty good hitter for the Barons here in the 2 spot.
First name Xavier.
I'm sorry, Xavier.
Yep.
Xavier, he's a junior.
Yeah, Xavier's been a starter since his freshman year.
Excellent. So an experienced player up at bat.
Yep, but he got caught reaching on that one. The pitcher for is Zori.
Yes, number 35, James Zori.
Zori, and he's led him off with a curveball here. Gets that to land for a strike.
And what a different, you can see the different pace already. Woodbridge swings at the first pitch to the first batter, 4 pitches here. It's a different pace here in the bottom of the second, which baseball's a game of flow like that, but you can see already how we're already at the third batter. It took us 10 minutes to get to the third batter in the top of the first.
It really is, and you could tell Woodbridge came out, they wanted to be aggressive right away.
Right.
This is a Fly ball to first base. And 1, 2, 3.
3 up, 3 down on very limited pitches. I think there were 7 total pitches that inning. But the Barons are back now in the field. South River with a little bit of energy here. I think they feel energized coming into Woodbridge, facing the #1 seed, up 1-0 early.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do when you're the lower seed team. You got to strike first and try to keep your team motivated. Woodbridge came out, they were aggressive, but you know, we'll see how it goes.
Hey, it's a long game, and it's a game of basketball. We say a game of runs. I guess in baseball it's the same thing. It's a game of momentum, a game of energy, and it changes very quickly. One or two hits, 1 or 2 plays, and the next thing you know, the whole momentum of the game has changed.
And we'll have 7, 8, and 9 for South River, Lell, Maloney, and then top of the order with Sanchez. So this will be the top of the second,
and you know what's good too? You'll see how Ryan responds now at the top of the second after being in the dugout. Probably got some advice from the coach, or maybe no advice. Just relax and play.
That's all.
And he'll settle in.
Well, you know, considering that he had bases loaded in that last, he really got out of that.
He certainly
with
did.
With a 1-0.
And that was the savvy that we talk about from a veteran pitcher. A younger pitcher may have overreacted, may have not, pitched his pitches.
Yeah.
And given somebody a pitch to hit, and we could have been in a real different situation here.
Yeah. When you're dealing with a high school athlete, it's a lot of the emotion that you want to see. When recruiters come out here, they want to see somebody who's poised.
Absolutely.
And then can fight through the adversity.
Well, and I'll give you an example. Like I'm a college coach. I love what I just saw from him.
Yeah.
You know, top of the first, big game at home, not going as planned. He was tough. He was focused. His body language was good.
That's the word. Body language. I was waiting for you to say.
And he got us out of a rough spot. And that's what you really want to see. Like, how do you react when things aren't going well? And that was a true credit to him and a true credit to the team, because if you look, the entire team continued to make plays. So
this is Brendan Lell, Travis Maloney.
Number 2 is up, Kyle. Number 2, Brendan Lell is up.
Yes, Brendan Lell. Okay, all right, Brendan Lell. Okay, leads him off with a ball.
I don't know what this ump is looking for some of these pitches, at least from our vantage point here, really do look like they're good pitches. I mean,
yeah, we'll see if he's.
We gotta get a spotter behind the backstop for us, because these pitches are looking pretty close.
Yeah, that one was a little bit up, but. The South River dugouts
got a lot of energy.
Chatting a little bit.
Yep, all in good spirits.
Yep.
They've been chatting, just keeping their team up. That's a foul.
So you can see Ryan is ahead on a lot of these guys because they're fouling them off way right.
Yep.
So, this is something where, you can either continue going at them with the fastball, but an occasional changeup really, you're at the bottom of the lineup, so you don't have to really throw too many curveballs. You can go right at some of these guys, but then, trust your fielders. Okay, outside again. See the catcher reaching a little bit out there, so
it definitely. I mean, the ump's doing a good job, but
let's see. Ryan works his way back in. Okay. So that goes off of him, but this is going to be a tough one for and he got him.
Got him.
Yeah, that was
excellent
nice play by Michael Gorovich.
Yeah, he came up, he reacted. The pitch, actually, for those that didn't see it, hit Ryan in the back of his leg and deflected towards third base. It may actually have been lucky it did hit him, because it may have been up right up second base if not. So great play by the third baseman. One down. Up next, number 21 is Travis Maloney.
That's an important first out for the Barons for this inning, because you don't want to have another long inning like you had the last one.
Travis is a sophomore. He's got 13 hits on the year out of 56 at-bats. So he's batting .232.
let's not forget to do some of the
yeah,
likes and dislikes of our, these kids filled out these surveys.
They did. We better read them.
They're usually pretty funny too. So these kids got some good sense of humor.
All right, we'll get started. You know what? Maybe we'll do it when they come up to bat.
Yeah. Okay, that ball was up. 1-1 is the count. Okay, that one completely missed.
On the outside. The count is 2-1. We're in the top of the second here. And again, I can't overstate what a beautiful day for baseball it is. I know it's supposed to rain the next few days, so what a great day to get it in.
And
that's a strike.
There's a strike right there.
Great pitch.
That's up and in, man.
Umpire, the third base coach didn't like it, but here we go, 2-2 count.
Some of the South River fans were unhappy with that call.
Of course,
also.
But there's been a lot of close ones that we thought could have gone Ryan's way before.
Yes, sir.
And player steps out a little bit late. Ryan was in his motion, took the free pitch anyway. New Jersey baseball usually doesn't warm up until this time of the year.
Right.
And we could be playing in 50-degree weather tomorrow.
Absolutely. It's that May is always a difficult month.
All right, that one caught the turf, and 3-2 count.
Yeah, and not this spring has flown by. I mean, the fact that we're almost halfway through May and we're already at GMC tournament time, it's incredible how fast. Like you said, it starts right after basketball, and then the next thing you know, it's May. So
you move right into it. Yeah,
it comes quickly.
Okay.
So number 21 advances on a walk.
Walk there, and
up next is number 14, Sebastian Dearson. He's batting 9th. Sebastian, let me see if we get the stats here.
That's a 4th walk already.
Yeah, Sebastian is only a freshman. Sebastian's got 14 hits and 47 at-bat appearances. He's batting .298 on the season.
And the coach is deciding to make an early pitching change. Looks like he's going to bring in Kevin Arroyo.
Okay.
Kevin is a player that I mentioned earlier. He's been he came up from JV from last year, but he's been a pleasant surprise this year. He's got a low, you might have it over there, but he's got I want to say about a 1.7 ERA, somewhere around there.
Actually lower. Yeah.
There we go.
Even lower.
1.08 ERA. The key is he keeps his ball low. He throws a lot of good off-speed curve balls, and he gets his curveball to land.
And I think Coach Monaco is thinking ahead.
Yeah.
And what he means is maybe Ryan didn't have it like he normally does today. Instead of draining him of pitches and not using him for whatever, he's saving him and making the decision to go with Kevin here. So Ryan battled, and it's only 1-0. So he
Sure, and
leaves a bit early, but that's part of baseball.
But that's what I was talking about with the fact that Woodbridge has had one of the better staffs around this year, because they've got 3 pitchers that can come in, and all of these pitchers between Arroyo, Leach, and Gurovich, they would be number ones on any team in the county, with the exception of 1 or 2 teams. They would all be number ones. When you have 3 guys that could be the best pitcher on just about any team in the county, you got a good pitching staff, and you can make a move like this early in the game, whereas a lot of teams, they got to sit there and hang in there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's why we're the number 1 seed right now, and that's why this game is early. You've got, like you said, another ace on the mound. Yeah. And there's still so much baseball to be played here today.
Really is. And what I like about Kevin is I've seen a lot of maturity on the hill, where he has fought through some adversity on the hill, but he doesn't walk too many guys, not too many hit batters. Yep. But he will let the batters hit the ball.
Game come to him. And he's going to need it now. I mean, let's be honest. There's a little bit of pressure here. You replace your number 1 pitcher a little bit earlier than anticipated. He's in a tough spot here too, so let's see how he responds. And let's
Man
see
on base, and Dearson up at the plate with 1 out.
And as I mentioned, Dearson's only a freshman, so it's a big spot here for a freshman.
There we go.
Starts off with a strike.
And another one.
2 strikes. So now you got a freshman 0-2. As my dad would say, just throw a strike.
Okay, so he hits one right to second. Get the lead runner.
Good.
Let's see if they can get.
And got him!
He calls him out. Okay, so double play. That was a.
I wish we did have the replay today, because that was a little bit close. Exactly, but the Barons got lucky here. We get out with no more damage run-wise, and the South River coaches are not happy trying to get the ump's attention as he walks away, but the first base coach definitely thought that the runner at first was safe, but he's not, and we move to the bottom of the second with the Barons still trailing 1-0. And who do we have up for the Barons coming up?
We should have our 4th hitter. That'll be Derek Oxner.
All right, well, Derek Oxner is a senior, number 21. His favorite sport is baseball. His favorite movie, Sandlot. His favorite music, country. His favorite school subject, which was mine and probably yours, gym. His most memorable moment was clinching the Red Division. Anything else about you would like to share with the television audience? LGM, which I think stands for Let's Go Mets.
Let's go Mets. He's a big Mets fan, that's for sure. Had the pleasure of coaching Derek. Yeah, Derek down in Little League, and he's always been a catcher and always been a very, very sound hitter.
Excellent.
You know, he's leading the team in average right now.
Yes,
I think
he is.
He's somewhere around 415.
He's actually, you're right, Kyle, batting for actually 418. He's got 23 hits on the year, which is a tremendous amount considering the player on South Plainfield South River has 27. Derek's got 23 at 55 at bat, so big hitter.
Yeah, he's also going to be heading out to, I believe, Sussex County College to play his baseball. I was talking to his dad earlier in the season. Coach caught him in a summer league game and really liked Derek and liked his whole attitude and everything.
Awesome.
And his approach towards the game.
I think I was talking about it with you the other day. You know, being on the Middlesex County board, like. Going to a community college nowadays is a terrific experience.
Yeah.
It's great sports, great athletics. It's a great experience to get your grades in order if they're not, and hopefully, put yourself in a position maybe to go on to another school for 2 more years to play. But credit to him.
I agree, and he found the school that's the right fit for him.
Perfect. Number 21 is Derek Oxner. Here we go.
All right, pitcher leads him off with a strike. So Sori is he's been very efficient with his pitch count so far.
Absolutely.
Pitch is up.
I'm going to see if somebody's keeping track, because he's thrown considerably less pitches than the 2 pitchers for Woodbridge combined. I mean, it still is the bottom of the second.
Yeah, Woodbridge helped him out, swinging a couple of first pitches, but I can understand that. Coming off of that double play in the first inning, they'd want to be aggressive and try to take some of this wind out of the sails of the South River Rams.
Yep, no, the Barons definitely came out swinging, which is understandable.
And there's a nice
hit in the gap
there, but
right at him.
Right at the center fielder.
Again, I think
right fielder, I'm sorry.
Right fielder, yeah, I think the sun factored in a little bit, but the right fielder for South River made the adjustment. And up next for Woodbridge, we have
Michael Gurovich.
Yeah, Michael Gurovich. Michael Gurovich is in the 11th grade. His favorite sport is baseball. Favorite movie, Olympus Has Fallen. Favorite music, R&B and country. Favorite school subject, English. And his most memorable moment, and it's Strike one. My first ever home run was a grand slam to tie the game in the last inning of a playoff game.
All right.
And everything else he'd like to share is he'd like to be, or he is a photographer.
All right.
That is, and he does do a great job. He actually does a lot of pictures for the basketball program, so he does a good job. And his mom is a cheering coach and teacher here at school.
Awesome. Yep.
Good family.
Great Woodbridge family.
Yep.
Okay, end of the bat on that one. Woodbridge is
a little out of whack at the moment.
Yeah.
And, you know, as this game progresses a little bit, as I mentioned, it's still considerably early, but when the one seed struggles, things get tight, you know? So you need a hit or a play or something to get everybody down to relax, to get energized, to get in your groove a little bit. But South River, I think is why the coach was a little upset there, is, you know, they're trying to survive here, and they know it's going to come.
And
there
Brian
you go.
Germain gets the first hit for Woodbridge up the middle.
All right, and maybe that's the catalyst that we're talking about here. A nice base hit up the middle. 2 outs. Up next, number 2.
Brian Pereira.
Brian Pereira. Brian is a 12th grader. Favorite sport, baseball. Favorite movie, Moneyball. Favorite music, rap and R&B. Another physical education as his favorite school subject.
I like that Moneyball movie. That was a good one.
It was very good. And his most memorable baseball moment, clinching the red division. I love when kids, their most memorable moment is a team moment compared to an individual moment. It says a lot about the kid that it's the team first. And anything else you'd like to share? He put no. So, all right.
I will share
I'm sure
something.
you may know a little bit about.
You know, I watched him this year early on, and he wasn't in the lineup. He was playing right field, but he wasn't. He was being DH for.
Okay.
And he was very poised, but his body language was always extremely positive. And then when he finally got the opportunity to hit, he delivered. I think he's batting somewhere around 330, but he delivered, and he's delivered in a couple of big moments too for Woodbridge.
Yep, and you love to see that. I mean, at the end of the day, like being a coachable team kid, I think it's an underdeveloped skill, like teaching a kid how to be a good teammate. And obviously, I'm sure it's a reflection of his parents, but it's also a reflection of the coaches that he had along the way.
Really is.
To, you know, when things aren't going well, you keep grinding, keep working. Go.
Ball's low. Come on. All right.
Ball four.
Four. There we go.
All right. So here's the energy we were talking about. Up next, number 9, Nick Lukacek.
Yes, and
also known as
Munchy,
to those
who know him well
at
and
home
know the
and know him
family.
well. And Nick is a sophomore. Nick has 10 hits on the season, batting .270. The third and final Lukacek to play baseball here at Woodbridge.
That's it. He had some brothers who had a lot of success.
He had a dad who was a very good player, and his mom is a gym teacher here in Woodbridge
right?
Middle School. Yep. So another homegrown Woodbridge kid with a Woodbridge family.
His dad's been a hitting coach to a lot of these young men too.
Yep, very involved.
And he got chased that one a little bit, or got the check swing. It's one of those pitches you commit to, and you can't bring that bat back.
No, you can't.
But 2 outs, man on first and second for Woodbridge. And there's a strike.
All right. Nick Lukacek, favorite sport is baseball. Favorite movie, Shatter Island. Favorite music, rap.
And got caught looking on that one. So Woodbridge will go down in second inning, no score for them, and it'll still be a 1-0 score in favor of the Rams. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a break and we'll come back for the top of the third. All right, welcome back, everybody. We're here at the top of the third inning. We have Kevin Arroyo on the hill. And
the leading off is the leadoff hitter, number 3, Jimmy Sanchez. And for those who are just joining us, the Barons are down 1-0 at the moment.
All right, got ahead. Kevin Arroyo is working fast on this one. He's got 2 strikes.
A little high.
Yep. So, folks, we are on Facebook Live. We're also on YouTube, TV, Woodbridge channels. And if you are watching, please let us know.
Yeah, and we
where you calling from, where you're watching from.
And we are here at Woodbridge, as we had mentioned earlier, the #1 seed. They got the first round bye. South River, who advanced by beating South Brunswick this past Saturday, 13-1.
Wow.
So South River, small Group 1 school, certainly not afraid to play against these big Group 4 schools. They're here to compete. And speaking of competing, we have number 25, who is a Rutgers commit, who we're being told a Major League scout was at the game the other day to see him play, Julius Rosado.
Yeah.
27 hits on the year.
Rosado's, he's a batter that with nobody on, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if we pitch around him the best we can. Kevin actually
going
threw
right
a
at
nice
him.
pitch and really went at him with a nice curveball. As I said before, Kevin gets that curveball to land, and oftentimes he throws it low. Again, he gets that. He's working from ahead now, so he can either waste a pitch or he can try and go at him again with this curveball, because he's got Rosado guessing right now.
Yep, and you'll see what a savvy hitter does, how they react here, and it's a little bit outside.
All right, but Rosado is a guy who can lace one on you very quickly.
Yeah, regardless of the count. Yeah, I got a feeling he's going to be ready to hit. And he drives one to the third baseman. Comes up throwing, and a nice out. Number 13 for Woodbridge.
That is Mike Gurovich. Oh, I'm sorry, Xavier Diaz.
Xavier Diaz. They made a switch. Gurovich did start off. I guess when the pitcher came in, they moved.
Yeah, Gurovich to left field. Yep. Ryan Leach to first, and Xavier Diaz to third.
Yep, so a little bit of a switch. Great play by Xavier Diaz coming up throwing.
There's a 5-3. One out there. It's important for Woodbridge to keep the base runners off as often as they can going forward from here.
Absolutely. I don't want to say there's no room for error, but you want to make sure you make the plays you're supposed to. Don't give South River any more momentum than they've come down a little bit since that initial inning where they had a lot of men on base, and Woodbridge is now playing a little bit better baseball here.
Yeah. So another dribbler. He got the end of the bat again. Now this was Woodbridge's first year in the red division.
Correct.
And we were hearing a lot of noise about obviously St. Joe's and Old Bridge and South Plainfield and Monroe. And Woodbridge, although they did get swept by South Plainfield, they had some big wins. What a great fastball on that pitch right there. Kevin Arroyo was way ahead of Zuri on that one.
And like I had mentioned, I had spoken to both coaches during the winter, and obviously anytime you make a move up into the red division, which has the big Group 4s and St. Joe's there waiting for you, you never know. And they had lost some players last year, didn't have a full returning staff. But man, what a tribute, what a credit to Woodbridge to put it together and to be in this position. And it's nice to see. It's good to see. It's nice to see good things happen. They're good coaches and good kids and good families, and a lot of like you said, I think almost every one of these kids, unless they moved into town, grew up playing in our rec leagues, in our baseball leagues, for our travel program. So it's fun to see.
Yeah, and there's some kids that are on this roster that this is such a team that's crowded with talent. Yep. So we have some players that are on this roster that don't get as much written about them. But I'm going to lead off with player Luke Casaliggi. I had the pleasure of coaching Luke. Luke is a catcher. He's going to be going on to Centenary College, but because Derek Oxner's been playing a very solid catcher and great hitter, it's really tough for Luke to get innings.
Sure.
He's come in a few times and worked at second base, but this talks about the talent that we have on this team here.
Yeah, it's loaded.
Yeah, another player was, I mentioned Billy Mansfield. Billy Mansfield had an injury during the South Plainfield series, and unfortunately has had to sit out this year.
Is he done for the season?
Yeah. Dylan Mastrola hurt himself going back to first base. Just stepped wrong in a scrimmage against CBA, and he's been out.
To lose those two quality players, and it shows you the depth. And all good teams have depth, and it's a tribute to the kids in Woodbridge to be as successful as they are, because it's not easy sometimes when you're good. Attitudes and things creep in. But now we have number 5, Derek Anderson, who you know very well.
A little bit.
His favorite sport, not surprisingly, is football. Favorite movie, Rush Hour. Favorite music, rap R&B. And he must take after Mom because his favorite school subject is stats, which is very interesting. And not unlike what I said earlier, his most memorable baseball moment was celebrating the Red Division, which is really cool to see. And Derek with a huge base hit here to start us off.
Okay.
Put the ball in play right into left field. And anything else? He's going to Pace University for football, as we all know.
All right.
And I will comment that what a pleasure we've been watching both your boys over the past 4 years, particularly in football. They were the two best players in every game we played, and it was really cool to see. So,
all right,
and they're great kids.
Thank you very much. And we have Gavin Slickner up right now, and let's see if they can capitalize on this leadoff hitter.
Yep, we got
in a perfect world, this is that when you have that runner at the bottom of the order, when they say double leadoff, this is a situation.
This is it. We got our leadoff hitter up, and you can see the Woodbridge bench is on their toes cheering. Woodbridge needs. I think this game will dramatically change the whole momentum if Woodbridge can get this tied up. I think Woodbridge.
You don't want this game to be close.
Nope.
And Zuri is throwing over.
Derek have any stolen bases on the year? I know he's usually the best athlete on any field he's on. So you got to get coach. Send him, coach. Let's see. Let's make something happen.
See what he's got. They're looking over at him. They definitely don't want to see him.
Nope.
And pitcher took a peek, and I saw Derek lean back to first base on that one. So the pitcher definitely has him
thinking.
They're
aware. He know. Yep. He knows he's there.
You don't want to get caught leaning.
I was going to say, you don't want to get thrown out here because all the momentum we just gained by getting this hit could go away pretty quickly.
And he's out. He's out. Well, this is another one. Derek normally doesn't, dispute the ref, but he came up with his hands up and not happy with it, but the ball did beat him.
It did,
the ball beat
particularly
him,
from this angle, because you can clearly see the ball in Derek's arm. And all right, so we'll.
Yeah, we couldn't see the tag, Derek, but the ball did beat you. All right.
And bobbled that short.
Yep, and that's where, unfortunately, you can't capitalize on this, but we do have the right part of the lineup up.
Yes.
And, Slickner's also got a few stolen bases, so we can try.
We'll see what we can start over.
Give another shot.
A lot of baseball left. Bottom of the third inning. And probably an uncharacteristic error for the shortstop, who is, my guess, is a gold glove type shortstop. But that was a good rip by Slickner. Put a little pressure on South River here.
You hit the ball and put it in play.
Let
you
him
never know
make
what
plays.
happens.
Absolutely. And great hustle to first. He ran that out hard. He knew the shortstop, if he could make a play, was going to be. And even with the bobble, he was still pretty close.
Yeah. All right, ball
All
up
right.
top. Yep.
And to give number 35, James Zuri, a lot of credit. He's actually pitched a really good game thus far.
Really has. We hear a lot about Rosado, but these are your pitching
the
staff.
role players, yeah.
You can't be 13-5 with one player.
No, you can't. And not as competitive in a game like this. It's a credit to South River. I mean, obviously us growing up, basketball and football, South River was so good at, but to give them a lot of credit that a small group 1 school is still able to be so competitive.
Yeah, South River, tremendous amount of history in that town.
Yep.
When you drive through it, it's probably a third of the size of a town like
the
Woodbridge.
The demographic
Township
has changed a lot since the days. And I grew up playing against Deion Jackson and those guys.
Sure.
They were just phenomenal basketball players. And South River's always competitive. They really figure it out. 3-1.
Okay, Xavier Diaz is ahead in this count. This is a hitter's count, but let's see if Zori will come to him on this one. Players are in the dugout. They're up for Woodbridge. They're trying to, Diaz
There we go.
Comes in hard.
That's what we needed.
He laced that one out to center field.
He sure did. So we got first and second with 1 out. Up next for the Barons, we have Ryan Leach. Yeah, Ryan Leach up at bat.
Yeah.
So, Ryan just looks like an athlete. Look at that. He looks like a baseball player. He's got
those long
the
arms.
whole deal. Yep.
It's hard
broad
not to
shoulders.
think of a player like Aaron Judge. Like when you see a Judge come up there and he's big and long like that, and you get that bat through the zone.
Yep.
And Ryan's hit a few home runs. I want to say he's got 4 on the year.
I can double check on that one. Ryan actually has, Ryan has 20 hits on the year. He's got 4 home runs.
Yeah. I'm one of those dads. I study those stats, man.
Clearly, you've been almost batting 1,000 with your statistical projections. And he does have also 6 doubles, which is quite a number. Leads the team in doubles. So.
All right. This is a big moment for him. Okay. And Ryan does, when he sees one that he likes, he tends to launch him. He is a high pop ball hitter, but his pop balls do end up out of the stadium occasionally. All right, this is a moment for Woodbridge to try to capitalize, and 2 runners, 1 out. And 2-0 count here. Okay, hits on there. Could they double it up? And they double it up.
They dropped it.
And
the run's going to score.
And Slickner is going to score. And that's why you always run out the ball.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I didn't really see what happened. It looked like it was a pretty good throw. I don't know what happened there on the
throw was good. It hit the end of the glove, and
regardless of how we got here, Woodbridge has now tied this game up 1-1.
There we go.
And like you said, terrific hustle by Leach down the line. And there the shortstop came up throwing. He tossed it to the second baseman who came up throwing and made it what looked to be a good throw, but
And Derek Oxner takes a big swing for strike 1.
So totally different game here, 1-1. We knew it was coming at some point.
And Gavin Slickner did a great job on there. He kept his eye on the play.
Yep.
He knew that could have been an easy double play ball, but he kept running around and he didn't slow down. Had he slowed down, they could have gotten that ball and made a play at home.
Absolutely. Good play all around. Coach was on top of it. And
all right. We got some warnings going on in the dugout. I don't know. So the coach, the first base coach, and the umpire are disputing what was being said in the dugout.
Yeah, the umpire actually really approached our bench and said no more. I didn't hear anything that.
I saw him point at the pitcher, and I know that they don't like you to do anything
direct
personal.
Taunting, right.
Direct taunting at the pitcher or whatever. But the players, they've got to make sure that they follow the rules as well.
In a 1-1 game in the county tournament, we don't need any extracurricular stuff that could impact. I don't know whether they.
There's a deep hit, but it's right at the center fielder. And Woodbridge will finish this inning with doing some damage.
All right, so we got it done. So a tie ball game here, which is exactly what we were hoping for. We go to the top of the 4th.
All right, that was an F8. And so, here we got Kevin Arroyo coming back out here.
And just so you know, Coach is going over to ask the umpire exactly what, and exchanging pleasantries. So good move by Coach. That's smart coaching, because you don't want an ump to be frustrated with your team in a game like this.
Or your coaches.
Or your coaches, right? Because umps are human too.
That's right.
And so good move by Coach going over there just to say, hey, I'll take care of it, I'll address it, I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Absolutely.
And make sure that everybody's calm and doing what's right here.
Yeah, so we have a 1-1 game. We have the 4-hitter, so that is Hunter Kransky will be leading off for South River. So, South River's got the middle of their order, and Woodbridge has a little bit of momentum here.
They do. Hey, look, 1-1 we can work with, right?
Yeah.
But we can't take anything for granted here. I think Woodbridge, I don't think we're still playing the type of baseball that we've been playing. Like I said, I haven't really been following it like you have, but we're just not playing Woodbridge baseball at the moment. But ever since Kevin has come in, we've settled down.
Yeah.
He's settled us down. We're relaxed. There's no excessive pitching, and we're making plays. So.
Yep, and so. 1-1 game. Kransky is leading off, and Kevin Arroyo, who, as you pointed out, has a 1.08 ERA. That's got to be one of the top ones in the county.
Yeah, I don't have the statistical leaders here, but it doesn't get much lower, really.
And statistically, Kevin has the most innings pitched, and he also has the fewest walks.
Yeah.
So, it really says something about what he's done, as far as being a pitcher that works within what he has and doesn't try to do too much. But he just has a great pitch that we've seen some really good teams. He pitched against Old Bridge, and his curveball was working so well. These kids, he was throwing curveballs that were landing into the dirt, and they were chasing it because it looked good, and it just fell off a table.
Yep. And not unlike we were saying about Leach and his body and his setup, Kevin looks like a pitcher.
Yeah,
the long arms,
absolutely.
The jersey's kind of hanging off his pitching shoulder.
Sure. Yeah, that lankiness.
And he's got a very efficient motion too. It's just he's not doing anything.
No, yeah,
just
nothing exhaustive.
No, he just turns and throws. And he's long legs. He's utilizing. There we go.
Stays ahead. It's 1-1 in the count, but he was way ahead of the batter on that one. Okay, Bryant is getting his shoe tied out there in right field.
You better get it tied quick.
We got a lefty batter up, and Brian Priero was tying his shoe out there in left field. I'm like, hey, come on, hurry up. And he hits this one out to center field. Derek is on the run.
And Derek goes back.
All right. Derek, you and I are like a few years apart, but Derek's got the baseball cap like Oscar Gamble back in the day, right?
Yeah, I was thinking Louis Tion or Oscar Gamble. I wasn't sure with the hair hanging out. Absolutely. It's definitely of the 70s and early 80s.
Sure. I don't know how he keeps his hat on half the time. I told him he should get a chin strap for that thing,
Yeah, he looks like a player, that's for sure. He's making plays.
All right, and that ball actually hit the microphone.
It did. It said boom. So up for South River, number 33, Noah Barrero. Noah, as we had mentioned, is a junior catcher. He's batting .292 on the year, so he also is pitched a few innings for them this year. He pitched 5 innings, so he probably came in relief in a game that was either determined one way or the other.
Oh, that one got away from him.
A little high.
And on the other side of town, we have Colonia's
playing Middlesex today. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually going to see if I can get an update. Text over there and see. I know Middlesex is a tough first-round matchup,
well,
but
Middlesex beat Colonia this year, actually, and so that's one of their losses. Colonia surprisingly only got a 7th seed, I think it was, and to draw Middlesex in the first round, I'm sure it's a divisional opponent. They've seen each other a lot.
Good program, good every year.
Yeah.
They're a lot like South River. The smaller school.
Here we go. Nice play by Slickner. So
there we go. Excellent. So,
good throw, good backhand.
And I think Colonia, if I'm not mistaken, is very similar to Woodbridge in there. At least I know there's 2 very good pitchers, maybe even a third. So as you were talking about earlier, pitching, it makes a difference.
It really does. Oh yeah, Corey Pascarella is probably one of
the Kroner, and then I think there's a third who's pretty good too. So
yeah, I think even Coach Chiara's
Dylan.
His son's a pitcher as well.
And I just got a update. It is 1-1 bottom 5 at Colonia. So very similar. Yeah. It seems like a similar game here.
All right, ball upstairs.
Number 6, Julian Borisovich is up.
Nice pitch. There he goes.
Here we go.
Kevin working ahead. Let's see. Or working his way back in. 2-1 count. 2 outs.
Oh, that's a nice
Popping
pitch.
that glove. Popping that glove nicely.
Yep. Now,
like to see that
to your point of the
trajectory,
ump, though, that pitch earlier in the game was a ball. Now it looked from this vantage point to be the same pitch that is being called a strike, which it's probably not because our angle isn't good, but
maybe not. And also, the fact that Kevin may have earned that, because with Ryan struggling a little bit.
And like you said, I think the ump's changed by the pitcher. If a pitcher continuously pitches in one direction or one sort of angle or zone, I think the umps adjust to that.
Yeah, and a good pitcher, will. Really study the ump's zone, because Kevin may have benefited from seeing pitches that Ryan was throwing.
Absolutely.
And come in, all right, I'm going to, what?
This ump strike zone is wide, it's low, it's whatever the case may be.
He lets the low one get away. He lets the high one get away. Let's throw that pitch.
Absolutely. And we've seen that in every other sport. The umps have refs or have
basketball. You get, refs that call this a foul. They'll let you get away with this.
Your hands. It ripped to center. Anderson on the run. Makes it look easy. So for the third out, they're getting a lot of action in the field today, making big plays.
Yeah, they're getting a hold of the ball, and Woodbridge stays intact. 1-1 is the count. 1-1 is the score.
Yeah, we're going to the bottom of the 4th. South River hanging on here, as is Woodbridge clawing back that last inning. This is a game of runs. I think someone is going to burst open here and score a couple of runs. Now, we'll see. Hopefully it's the Barons,
Yeah, Woodbridge
all
leads
due
off.
respect to South River.
Yeah, we'll lead off with Mike Gurovich, and then Brian Germon, who got the hitting going for Woodbridge.
Yep.
And then Brian Pereira. Pereira, sorry. So, Bobby, now, how many years have you been the coach here for Woodbridge basketball?
11 years.
11 years,
yep.
Right?
And I've loved every minute of it, and hopefully I'll hang around for a little while longer until they ask me to leave, but I love it.
I think that'll happen.
Well, I love Woodbridge High School. I love Woodbridge Township. I'm very lucky. The administration's terrific. Joe Ward's great. As you know, I live about a block and a half away from Woodbridge High School, and it's great. There's nothing like being in the gym those 2 hours during the day, and to have great kids, great families like we have, and my youngest daughter is now a freshman who'll be a sophomore next year, so I've had the pleasure of coaching all three, and all three have been pretty talented due to their hard work and effort, so it's a lot of fun. I love being a coach. I love being around the kids. I love being a part of the community.
And you do a great job with it, and your kids it's evident, your kids are very coachable, and your teams play as a team,
Thank you.
Whether they're having a great year or whether they're not having a not so great year, they always play as a team. They equally distribute the ball, and they play hard. hard, they don't give up.
I appreciate that because it's not easy sometimes. But like I said, that's a tribute to the parents and the families we have in town here too.
Yeah.
So
We like having you here. So we have Michael Gurovich leading off.
number 10.
And that pitch misses.
Let me get Michael's stats here.
Oh yeah, we'll find out what. Did we read his yet, or as far
I think I may have read Michael's already.
You know who we missed? We missed Brian Germano.
All right, so we'll
read him.
He's up next. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, we must have gotten Mike in the first time. And that's high.
Gets
to
under that. It's let's see. Okay.
All
There's
right.
some that couldn't decide whether or not.
The left fielder, Brendan Lell, and the center fielder were definitely, I couldn't hear them, but I'm sure they were saying, I got it, you got it, I got it, you got it. So,
yeah, they're still talking about it. So
the key is they made the catch. Up next, number 8, Brian German. And like we said, his favorite sport is baseball. His favorite movie, Hardball. His favorite music is R&B. Favorite school subject, history, and another winning the red division, which is terrific. And there's nothing else he'd like to share, which we respect that. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah. I had pleasure of coaching Brian for a little bit when he was around 11
baseball
or 12.
Or football or both?
Baseball, yeah. And but he was very flashy glove. Always came up nice with the ball, very quick, charged the ball. His fielding's really what got my attention, and he's always had a nice swing, very nice swing. And this year his bat came together, everything came together for him. Real happy for him.
Good for him.
And a good kid, you know.
Yeah, we're very lucky, and it's not. We're here, Woodbridge. Your children go to Woodbridge, but JFK and Colonia. We have 3 great high schools, and it sounds cliche, and I'm not just saying it, but it really, when you look at the quality of the people, the quality of the kids, the quality of the teams, we have 3 teams that are really good in baseball, really good in football. It's a special. Woodbridge is a special place.
Yeah, it is. We're the only school in the county, only district in the county or township in the county that has 3 high schools.
Right.
That's not easy to manage.
And it's one giant mixed up.
Yeah.
Grade school and middle school, and that's a rip
Nice
in the
hit
center.
there.
Good. It could be
Another.
extra bases here.
Yeah, player actually made
Nice
he
play.
cut that off really nicely.
I didn't think he was going to get to it when he hit it on that first angle, but there we go with a nice hit.
But what I was talking about with his hitting before, did you see the way he fully extended on that one? And he went with the pitch.
Made it look easy.
It was an outside pitch, went with it, and that was something that he wasn't doing last year. Maybe pull an outside pitch.
Right.
But this year he's really doing it, going with the pitch. And we have Brian Pierre up behind him. And let's see if we can get something going.
Yeah, 1 out with a runner on first.
The mayor usually makes a disclaimer in case there's any people from South River listening. We always tell them we really think a lot of your kids, your town, great place. I actually go to Rio Del Mar to eat for lunches. Great place, but we are a little bit.
Oh, he's hit by the pitch.
Yeah, hit
well,
by the pitch.
we are clearly
homers.
unequivocally rooting for the.
Yes, we're rooting for
Barons.
Woodbridge. We'd like to see our teams advance. We'd like to be able to deliver this TV 35 coverage to them for another round.
Absolutely.
And
well, I think we got some momentum here. First and second, hit by a pitch. You'll take it, and up next is number 9. I believe that is Nick Lukacek. Nick only a sophomore, but Nick. He's played a lot of baseball in his.
He had no choice in that house, right?
Career, absolutely.
He had no choice. And his father, was a Rob Lukacek, was a former major leaguer.
He played professional.
Yeah, played with the Montreal Expos.
And, terrific guy. Always been around town. So.
Yeah, and he's raised 3 really good baseball players.
Well, I live about less than a block away.
Yeah.
And when I grew up in my neighborhood, you would hear the sound of a basketball being dribbled.
Sure.
In our neighborhood, you hear them in the batting cage.
Ding, ding, ding.
And I can't tell you how refreshing it brings me back to my childhood. It really does. It reminds me of putting in the extra effort. And these Lukaceks are good hitters for a reason.
Oh yeah.
There's a cage and a tee in their backyard, and I think the dad also throws soft toss to him. So
yeah, he does.
It's a great sound. The other neighbors may not understand it, but I get it.
And occasionally, you may have heard my son hitting over there too, because we've sent them over there. I'd say, if they're hitting, get over there. Get over there. I'll drop you off.
Yeah.
All right. 1-1 is the count. And there's a nice drive, but it's a foul ball left. We got to keep our heads on a swivel over here. You know, we're elevated above the third baseline, and
yeah, we sure do.
We are. And if anybody's ahead of a pitch, we got to be alert.
I also think there could be a lefty who could, with a check swing, maybe get one sent our way.
Yeah. I've had that as a third base coach. I've had a lefty target me once or twice. Okay, and here we go.
A wild pitch advances the runner. So we are at second and third here in the bottom of the fourth. Only one out for the Barons, and
Woodbridge has a chance to make something happen here.
They don't bunt anymore, huh?
They do, actually. There's a couple of players that bunt.
Bunt one down the first baseline here to...
yeah. Well, not with two out. With 2 strikes.
Oh, 2 strikes. I'm sorry. Yes, I didn't realize there's 2 strikes, but... Yeah.
Oh, boy. That's... Wow. Infield was in. Nothing the runner can do. You're off the base. You're not going to be. No, I don't care if he was 2 feet off of that base. That kid
it
makes
happened
that
so
play.
fast,
yeah.
And the best player on South River got the ball, knew exactly where he was going before he even caught it. So that's John Sterling, and that's baseball, Susan. That's right. That happens. But we go to the top of the 5th. I thought we had a chance there to get.
Oh boy, you know that's a little deflating there.
Yep.
Because it's late in the game, and they're going to have the top of their lineup coming up soon. And we're back for the top of the 5th inning. Lel will be leading off for South River Rams. The score is 1-1, and Kevin Arroyo is on the hill for Woodbridge. He seemed to be way ahead of Lel on that one. See what happens on the next pitch. And Lel
chasing
it didn't look good at that one.
He actually was shaking his head halfway through the swing, knowing full well.
When you're thinking, but in the middle of the pitch, in the middle of the swing, it's not a good thing. Okay.
And then he makes contact, the right fielder. He was probably coaching, but he was shaded in really in the spot where exactly where he hit it. So if he's a little bit over to the right, he's got no play on that.
Yeah, Bryant Pereira made a good play, and maybe he was moving over based on the prior 2 swings.
Scouting, and the scouting, I'm sure they have some, maybe not call it advanced scouting, but I'm sure they know tendencies.
Okay,
nice pitch.
Maloney is up, and he starts off with a strike.
And I just got an update. Colonia is now down 3-1.
Oof. Okay, there's another one hit right at Slickner. Slickner takes a gather step and makes a good throw over to Ryan Leach. They'll throw it around and get it back over to Arroyo. Arroyo's working fast the last few innings.
He is. Very efficient, you know, and when you're efficient, the game moves, there's energy, you know. When there's lots of pitches, I don't want to say the fielders fall asleep, but you can fall asleep a little bit, or at least, you know, lose your focus.
It's a slow game.
It's a slow game. Yep, and it happens. Hey. Wow, this
is where the ball's been falling off the table, like I told you before. 2
of the pitches that the last 2 batters have swung at have actually almost bounced off the turf.
And some of them don't even look like strikes when they're heading to them, but it looks enticing because it stays so low.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we have a play to second base.
I think Kevin threw maybe about 5 pitches in that inning.
That's it. All right, the Barons now 3 up, 3 down for South River. The Barons are heading the bottom of the 5th. We need some runs, Mr. Anderson. We need some runs.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's the bottom of the 5th here at Harding-Peterson Stadium, or Peterson Field. We have Derek Anderson leading off. He had a single for us in the 3rd inning, And
he's been very active. A lot of plays in the center field.
Got caught stealing earlier,
Yeah,
but
he did.
Had some good plays in the field. Let's see if he can stay hot. This is another opportunity where we could have that double leadoff situation because we have Gavin Slickner right behind him.
Yep.
He was way behind on that one. Let's see what happens.
And in good teams, this is not your average ninth hitter for sure.
And he fouls this one off. So
down 0-2.
Zuri's ahead on this one.
And Zuri now is in the 5th inning. He's not lost any energy or momentum here. He's actually a really good pitcher. He's their
efficient.
second best pitcher, which is definitely interesting to see. It shows you how talented the South River team is too.
Absolutely.
Oh, caught looking. I thought that was a little high, but
a little bit, yeah.
0-2, you probably got to protect. So we have up next Gavin Slickner. He's in 11th grade. His favorite sport is baseball. Favorite movie, Sandlot, which is a terrific movie.
Oh, yeah.
Favorite music, rap. Favorite school subject, history. His most memorable moment, which is pretty cool, 2 home runs versus Elizabeth. That was just recently, too, right? Last week, yeah.
Just happened last week.
That's pretty cool. That's a rare accomplishment. And there's nothing else he wants us to know about him, which is fine.
I know he's got a sister that attends school here.
Yes,
Olivia.
Liv is Bobby Joe's really good friend.
All right.
And then the dad played football here at Woodbridge, and so another Woodbridge family.
Mike and Jen, very nice family.
Yep.
Like I said, spent a lot of time with them at some Little League games, and had the pleasure coaching Gavin. And he was always a smaller kid, and
not anymore.
He's got football written all over him, in my opinion.
He sure does.
Okay.
And he rips one to the third baseman, who is ready, and that's a nice throw across the diamond for out number 2. And I tell you, South Rivers, with the exception of the error at first, which cost them a run, has actually played a very, very good baseball game.
They really have. They really have. I'm just so surprised that they came in as the seed that they had.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have up next number 13, Javier Diaz. Or Xavier Diaz, I apologize.
That's all right.
I apologize. He's a junior. His favorite sport is baseball. His favorite movie is 42. Is that the Jackie Robinson movie?
Yeah, it is.
His favorite music is Christian rock, which is awesome to hear.
Okay.
Favorite school subject, science, and his memorable moment is winning the Red Division. This Red Division win had a big impact on these kids because I think they all, us included, probably were a little bit unsure of what it would bring,
Yeah, and this was also back-to-back year for them.
Back-to-back with the white and the red,
Yeah.
So it's nice to see what an impact that had on the
it says
team.
a lot about Coach as well.
Sure does.
Coach has built a legacy over here, or a dynasty of a program.
Yep.
This is another chopper. It's a little slower one, but let's see. And he's out.
He got him.
Okay. So
good scoop by the first baseman. That throw is a little bit short.
Yeah. So South River is not phased at all.
No.
So this game is going to go right down to the end. We'll take a break, folks, and be right back. But this game is going to be a good one. All right, welcome back, everyone. We're here, top of the order for South River Rams.
Number 3, Jimmy Sanchez leads off the Rams, and it is a tie ball game, which
walked and struck out. But go ahead on that thought, though, as far as
we're getting into some interesting situations here. It's the top of the 6th, and the 16th seed South River has basically played Woodbridge head-to-head.
They really have.
So the pressure's going to start to mount a little bit here. I thought this was going to be a little more of a high-scoring game, but the next team that scores a run, this is going to be interesting because the pitchers have both, I don't want to say dominated, but they've impacted the game here with pretty strong performances. There's been quite a duel since Kevin came in with the pitcher from South River.
Absolutely. And Kevin's, right now 2-1 count, but he's got one of the best hitters in the county
Coming up
on deck.
Yeah, on deck.
So getting ahead of Sanchez right now is really okay. So it's 2-2.
Yep, and that's just that. Oxner hops up to trying to get an extra play in there. Yeah, and this has been a clean game. I mean, I counted 2 errors for both teams, and so neither team has beaten themselves.
Yeah.
They're both ready to play. It's and I think to your point too, it shows the quality of the baseball in the GMC.
Oh yeah.
And that's right at our second baseman.
Right at Brian German.
All right, Brian.
Yeah, now I mentioned a few other players. I want to make sure I mention a player who's been playing left field and gets like every other day he'll bat. Tyler Simkovich.
Yep.
He's played a lot of left field this year. He's a good lefty at bat, and but this is an example of how crowded this team is with talent here at Woodbridge. And there's a few other players there. Jack Kobalakowicz, he's come in as a runner a few times, and so is Luke Casaliggi, as I mentioned before. And again, Kevin comes in and gets Rosado reaching out for a pitch.
Get a little bit on his heels.
Yep. Yeah.
And here's the situation like you described earlier. I don't want to give this hitter too good of a pitch to hit. Put him on base.
That's right.
We'll figure it out. And I think that's kind of what he's doing here.
Keeping that ball low.
Put him on first with 1 out. Woodbridge can figure it out. But if you give him a pitch down the pipe here.
Yeah, he's got Zuri behind him, and Zuri is flown out to right or flown out to left, and he's also struck out. So
right.
See what he does here. There we go. So
all right,
that one stayed up in the zone.
Yep.
And,
but you could tell he got his hips into that.
Yeah. You see him digging in, and he's got his toes on the line in the box there.
Yeah, he's up a little further. You're right. He's actually his top toe is at the top of the plate.
Yeah. All right, not a bad pitch. Come upstairs a little bit. So 3-2 count. Let's see what Kevin can do here, what he serves up to him.
Big pitch here.
Oh,
hey, got him.
What a great pitch there.
All right.
Wow, that's a big out for Woodbridge,
Terrific.
And that was another one where you saw Rosado thinking through the swing. He actually delayed his swing and swung very late in that pitch.
He really did. Brilliant pitching to arguably the best hitter in the GMC.
Yeah.
Huge out. Huge out.
Okay. Yes, Kevin, again, working ahead.
My wife is walking through, getting a little exercise, enjoying the beautiful night here.
That's the beauty of living so close to high school, right? There's walking paths everywhere.
All right. No harm, no foul here. We got 2 outs.
And count is 2-1. And this is Zuri, who is 0 for 2. And the infield is playing back. Want to keep that ball in front of him. Here we go.
There it is. That's in play.
Out of bounds. Foul. That would have been a tough one if it did stay
hit
foul,
the base, yeah.
Because it was a dribbler.
It really was. So we're in the top of the 6th here, and just a reminder for anybody just joining us, South River, the 16th seed. They beat South Brunswick on Saturday 13-1 to advance here to play the Barons at home, who are the #1 seed in the 2025 GMC.
And South Brunswick is a Red Division team.
Absolutely.
So, even though they're at the bottom of a division, there we go.
Oh, that's a strike.
Strike 3, looking.
All right.
And great inning for Kevin Arroyo and the Barons. So the Barons are going to be in the middle of their lineup. So I think we have Ryan Leach leading off. So he's the #3 hitter. Leach actually has, a single, and he reached on an error. Folks, we're going to be back and take a break, and, but this is a good one. All right, we are back, and really good game going on here between the Woodbridge Barons and the South River Rams. South River's 16 seed, as you pointed out, Bobby, and Woodbridge is the 1 seed. We have the number 3 hitter, Ryan Leach, up.
And Ryan Leach is a senior. His favorite sport is baseball. Favorite movie, Stand By Me. Favorite music, Deftones and rock. Favorite school subject, none. Okay, baseball is his favorite. Every time I take it, strike someone out is his favorite baseball moment. So that's a true pitcher speaking there. And Ryan is up, and he takes a ball to get us started here.
All right, and Ryan hits
one hopper
down
to the third baseman, who comes up throwing.
That's been the theme for both teams in the last 2 innings.
Absolutely. Both teams have been making the plays they need to make. And number 8, who is the third baseman, Hunter Kreisky, he's a heck of a player here. He's made some really good plays.
Good plays, good throws.
Solid baseball plays, fundamental.
All right, and next up is Derek Oxner. I believe we some of
Derek's,
his.
yep.
Yeah.
We talked about Derek moving on to the next level to play at Sussex Community College next year.
Yeah. All right.
I tell you what, for a young man who's been pitching now in the 16th to throw heat like that, this guy's a talented pitcher. Got to give him a lot of credit.
Absolutely.
Hopefully Derek takes one of those pitches and puts it over the fence.
There's another one.
He threw the off speed. It came high with the first one, and then the off speed there. We got 2 strikes, 1 and 2.
And Oxen has been a very consistent hitter for us. He's got a nice wide stance.
Yep.
That ball was low.
A little bit low.
Yep. All right, Oxen hits that
up the
one.
middle.
Up the middle.
Tough play.
Yeah, and that will go for a base hit.
Yep. So, with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th, Oxner gets on base with a hit up the middle. Nice play, and actually good hustle by South River. It just was too deep into the hole for them to make a play. And we have coming up next, number 10.
Michael Gurvich. And Mike in his first at-bat, let's see, he hit one right at the first baseman and flew out to right.
All right, he's looking down to Coach Monaco at third base for the signals. And right now, just yell, "Get a hit, please." That's the most important. They don't need to signal anything other than just
keep it simple.
Please get a hit.
Yeah, keep it simple.
That's it. Swing the bat.
Yep.
And I think that's probably what he's going to do. It's nice to have a senior up in this spot here who's played a lot of baseball. So
he's a junior actually, Michael.
Oh, I'm sorry. Michael's only a junior.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah. But he's been a solid hitter.
Yep. Experience, a lot of at bats. So hopefully.
All right, and we do have a pinch runner over there. Luke Casaliggi is over on first base.
Came in to run. Gotcha. Yep. So he's got some speed and quickness. So hopefully that.
He's been known to swipe a few. Let's see. I'm sure we're going to try to get him over to second. Well, okay. Oh boy, this is a double play ball.
It's a high throw.
Oh, and he ran it out. Good for him.
Yep. The number 25, you can see there the level of skill where he so easily caught the ball and flipped it to the second baseman, who a little bit of an overthrow, a little wide. So we'll take that, and even though they got the lead runner out, it's still now 2 outs, and we have up number 8, Brian German.
Okay, and throw over to Mike Gurvich. Now Brian German is 2 for 2 today.
Right.
He's had 2 good at bats.
Let's hope it continues here. And that's right
end of the bat.
at the
End of the
shortstop.
bat. Yeah. All right. So let's see.
All right. So we're going to the top of the 7th. We're tied here, and South River has, I think, the 4th and 5th hitter lineup going up.
Yeah, we have we have number 3. Number 4, 5, and 6.
4, 5, and 6 coming up.
Kransky, Noah Barrero, and Burosovic.
Yep, I mean, but if we're honest, both teams, the orders are pretty darn solid. So it's not like you're looking forward to get to any of these hitters because all of them have been aggressive, all of them have been making plays.
Yeah.
And
pitchers have. They're the theme of the game, though, today.
Pitchers absolutely are the theme of the game. They've been dominant in a sense in that they're just not letting anybody get anything, and then the fielding has been pretty solid. I mean, South River had the throwing error, but, they're making the plays that need to be made. They're getting a really terrific Woodbridge lineup, making them look, rather average today, and that happens. But there's still a lot of baseball to be played here in the sense of this game isn't over, and Woodbridge needs to. Now, I'm assuming Kevin can continue to pitch because he hasn't thrown a lot of pitches, as you mentioned. But at a certain point here, you start to get in extra innings. We start to figure out what's going on. It's going to be interesting.
It really is. And, sometimes coaches can get caught looking ahead, and you have to win the one in front of you.
Yep.
But this one, I totally agree with the pitching change at the time. Kevin has settled things down.
Yeah, and sometimes coaches are wrong, but this one, it worked out. And that's not a reflection on the first pitcher. It's just a good decision that worked out.
Yeah, that's all. Because if you can save him, and there's one out to left field. Gurovich is on his horse trying to get there.
Just a little bit foul.
But no one has really pounded the ball. You're not saying, oh boy, you haven't seen too many of our outfielders on either side really chasing any balls down.
Yeah.
They're
and I don't recall any extra base hits. Everything has been nice ripped singles, but no one's hitting any doubles or triples or putting the ball in the gaps. It's really been an efficient game.
Yeah.
So that's a tip, and that's a strike 2. So we got 0-2, which is a place we want to be in here. Kevin on the mound. And that's right at our second baseman, who was
Brian Germain was playing deep.
Yeah, again, that goes to scouting and coaching. I mean, he was in the green, which is very far back for a second baseman, but he was able to come in on the play and make it, and we have one out here.
That's a shift that you definitely want to have in play, knowing you have a lefty batter coming up. I'm not trying to jinx Kevin, but I don't think he's let up a hit.
No,
Kevin hasn't let up a hit since he's come in.
No, not that I can recall. I mean, if it is, it's no more than one because it's not been anything substantial.
Yeah, he's got one walk, and I'm looking. He hasn't let up a hit.
Yep. Yeah. No, and your point earlier was let the fielders make plays.
That's all.
Trust your fielders, and Woodbridge has been very efficient both with their catching as well as their throwing. South River had the catching and throwing error, which is it's actually the difference maker in this game.
And that last ball was probably the hardest hit ball in all of the game for South River. I haven't seen anybody hit the ball that much harder.
Colonia lost 3-1, so an upset on the other side of town.
Yeah, there's a hard hit one there. Like I said, I don't like to say somebody hasn't given up any hits because that's what happens. But if you got to give one up right there, there it is, and hopefully you can get on the next guy.
Yeah, it's one hit, make the next play.
That's all.
We got number 6, Julian Burosovic up. So. What you don't want to see happen is one play compound and then it turns into an error or a bad throw or even a bad pitch. You can't overreact in the game of baseball to anything, really.
Not at all. You know what happens late in the game, to feel that pressure.
Sure.
And this is
especially Woodbridge. I mean, let's be honest. Woodbridge is the number 1 seed here. South River is the 16th. It is what it is. It's not a knock. But the pressure's more on Woodbridge here than it is on South River, for sure.
And that's another one. Ah.
Oh, he's going to get him.
He's got him. Oh, no. Come on. You had time to make that throw. You had a chance to make that throw. Bryant Prieria had a shot, but, you know, okay, I guess we have a timeout here.
All right,
And,
so, yeah, he charged in and made a nice play off of a hop, and then, yeah, like you said, he may have had a little extra time. I think the throw was a little bit to the left, at least from the angle we had, you know, but he came up throwing. So, but with that being said, it is first and second for South River here with only one out.
Yeah. And this next batter is Lel. Okay, Lel is 0 for 2.
But Lel's competed at bats a couple of times. I do recall him battling here. So South River did put in a pinch runner, number 18, for South River, who is Dylan Passion. But number 18, Dylan, is at second base. You have up number 2, as you mentioned, Brendan Lell. So this is a big in basketball, football we say possession. Well, this is a big play here, or big situation here.
We need to stop. We need to stop. Say in basketball, right?
Sorry for the other sport analogies. But
that's all right. You know. And so we have first and second. We have one out. Double play would be great right now, or even just to get the one out.
Just get the one out to go to 2. So this way, it's like a force everywhere. You know,
Absolutely.
Not a force everywhere, but you have other options. You can relax a little bit. Woodbridge needs to be ready. You need to be ready to make plays here.
Nice pitch.
But this is where all those situational things in practice come into play.
It really does.
It's 1-1. There's one out. You have first and second. Where do you go? You know, and that's baseball. What's the next play? And that's a lot of coaching. So we're just prepared. Let's hopefully they're able to execute.
This is when you're in the backyard with your dad and he's calling it out.
Yep.
And
first and second. Where are we going?
Strike? Yeah.
Yep.
Can you throw that strike?
Yeah. And can you throw the strike? Exactly right.
That was a strike. There we go.
The batter tried to jump back, but the ump's been pretty consistent today. These guys have done a very good job.
Yeah, got a tight zone though.
Yeah, I agree. It's tighter for Woodbridge than it's been for South River for sure.
Yeah. But no takeaway from the South River pitcher. He has pitched an outstanding game.
Terrific.
Yeah.
So as has Kevin here, and as did Ryan earlier.
Yep. So
we have 2-2. And you're starting to feel the energy here at the stadium. You can tell we're in the 7th inning of a GMC tournament game.
Yeah.
And he got him.
And there's a strike 3.
Nice off-speed pitch. So up next, we have Travis Maloney, who is the 8th hitter.
Travis has a walk, and he had a 5-3 out, hit to the shortstop. You know, that applause was like more of a sigh of relief for the Woodbridge fans. You know?
Absolutely. You could feel it. You can feel the tension because, as you said, now we got 2 outs. You know, you can make a play at any place but home just to get the out and then get up at bat and see if we can manufacture a run in the bottom of the 7th.
Sure.
Or at the very least, make it to extra innings and then figure it out.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a foul. Now on the flip side, even though we are rooting for the Barons, this is a big spot for South River to be in. So the number 21 hitter, the 8th hitter here, I mean, this is where, you know, careers are defined. You hit a base hit here against Woodbridge to drive in a run, and that's
absolutely.
You know, that's players step up. So we'll see. This is the beauty of competition and the beauty of high school sports.
I've walked that hallway in the sports section of South River High School, and a lot of great names, great achievements.
I mean, some of the most incredible achievements in the history of the state when you consider the professional football players and the basketball talent, and it's a proud school.
Yes,
you know, and
great community.
Yep.
All right, and Kevin works himself out of that.
All right, so
takes control.
So the Barons get I don't want to say lucky, but the Barons escape here with still being tied. We're having first and second, and let's go. Now we need some runs, fellas. Let's go.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back for an exciting bottom of the 7th inning of a 1-1 game in the GMC opening round. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for the bottom of the 7th, which we hope is the last half inning of this game. We're hoping Woodbridge can break away from this 1-1 tie. It's been a great pitcher's duel and a really good opening round for
It's actually been
Woodbridge.
A very good game. I'll be honest, I mistakenly thought this would be lopsided, and shame on me, and a credit to South River.
You know, we have a habit of thinking big school, small school.
Seeded 16 seed.
Certain sports, you can get a couple of kids, like a sport like this, you get a good pitcher, a couple of good pitchers, you can really put together a good baseball team. There's Brian Pierre, who leads off with a single.
All right.
And that's what you like to see from the bottom of the order, where they come out and they help out right away.
With the exception of Derek's hit, this is the first time we've led off the inning with a hit.
Yeah.
In 7 innings, to lead off the inning with a hit, we didn't have to start off with 1 out. So this is huge. So I'm sure he's going to put in a base runner here to try and manufacture, I would say, for lack of a better term, manufacture some energy here. Maybe a stolen base, forcing South River to make a play.
Well, good thing here, Bryant is actually a good runner himself.
Right?
So I think
maybe not.
He
So
can
he's
do his own.
athletic enough.
Yeah, he can do his own running.
And we have Nick Munch Lukacek up at bat. So
and then this is so it's a timeout. A quick timeout for South River. I do want to mention our Woodbridge Township Hall of Fame is accepting applications for any Hall of Fame members. You can go to www.wtaaanj.org and you can get an application from there.
Absolutely.
Here's Munchie is showing bunt, and he actually
there
bunts
it.
Well
done.
Oh, it went foul, but what a good bunt that was. He would have been safe.
I asked about that earlier. The fundamentals of baseball haven't changed, and it's a great call here. I'd do it again. Force because what you want to do is you want to force South River to make a play.
Sure.
And they've already had a few overthrows and some tough catches. Force them to put a little pressure on them and see if we can manufacture. All we need is 1, and the game's over.
And Munchie is, the third baseman is. Wow. He caught Bryant leaning, but the throw was wide.
If that throw is close, that could have been interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and it makes it interesting. If that throw goes wide and goes loose, too, you have one of our quicker players on first who may have been able to round second and even get to third because there was no backup there.
Okay, Bryant is feeling confident. He had a pretty big lead over there, and Munch pulled back, so it's a 1-1 count. Third baseman's not taking any chance. He's
playing up. Absolutely, he's ready to go. He's ready to go. Hey, it's that situation stuff we talked about. This is where, with basketball and even football at times, the game is so active, but situational play for coaching, and coaching really matters in baseball. All right, we're playing up. You're going here, you're going there. It really makes a difference because you're able to impact with your decisions because it's a slower game.
Yeah. Bryant's got to be careful of the throwback there. Here we go. Okay.
What's the call?
What is the call on that?
Oh, so we have.
Are they arguing balls and strikes?
They are arguing balls and strikes.
Or are they arguing the count?
No,
they're not arguing the count.
Is it?
I saw the umpire point at something. I saw him point
I thought
at
he was
something.
pointing because it was low to be a ball, but I don't know. This.
Because he shouldn't even be entertaining this.
Not at this point, no. He needs to walk away. Something bad's going to happen here for the South River coach. But at the same time, we have one of our hotter hitters up today, Derek Anderson, in a big spot here with no outs.
Yeah.
First and second.
And Derek's a decent bunter himself. So, they're playing back on him. But they might play a little small ball with him because Derek can bunt.
Yeah. And obviously the team can feel the energy changing here. And this is Woodbridge. If you had to draw it up, This
okay.
is a great way to start, though. No outs, first and second.
That's right.
You've got your DH up, the center fielder up in the 9th spot, and then you've got your top of the order. So
yeah. If Derek can bunt and at least bunt these two guys over,
yep.
I think he's going to square up again.
It's the right play here. And Derek with the speed too.
He's got to swing. Now he's got to protect now.
So 0-2.
Yeah.
So now he's going to have to swing.
He pulled back, but that ball looked like it landed in the zone to me. Tough one.
Tough.
Let's see what he could do. Strikeout.
All right, so next up we have the top of the order.
And one of the hottest hitters in the
who had 2 home runs in a game last week, Gavin Slickner up at bat here. So now we still first and second one out. And Derek battle. He was asked to bunt. He did his job, and then it's a good pitch by the pitcher. That's baseball. That happens. So we got Slickner up at bat here.
No strike there. Ooh. It's a ball call. Look close.
I tell you, it must be our angle because some of these pitches look the same and get called differently.
They really do. And this is where it gets emotional for both
everybody.
Dugouts.
And the umpire too. The pressure's amping up.
It really is.
They feel it. They know it. They know what's at stake here. And you do have to give credit to the GMCs. I mean, our officials in basketball, our referees in football, our umpires here in baseball. Yeah. It's the Greater Middlesex Conference is a terrific conference.
It really is.
Very well run. It's
in all sports.
All sports, absolutely. It's a reflection of all the ADs and the administration, and then obviously you being the county super. It's a team effort.
Okay, 1-0 is the count. Pop up. That is trouble. That's
incredibly high.
Yeah. Well, and that should have been a ground rule double anyway, right? A ground rule.
Yeah. The infield fly.
Infield fly rule. What am I saying? Ground rule.
There is some distinctions in that which I don't understand, but you should have.
Yeah. Now, Gavin flew out there to first, but Xavier Diaz in his last at bat, let's see, he went hit right to the shortstop. Let's see what he does. Behind on that one.
He was trying to end this with a home run on that swing, and I give him credit for being aggressive. It's 0-1 now. And again, I obviously never seeing this young man prior. This kid is a heck of a pitcher. I don't know what level he could pitch at one day in college, but if I'm a college coach, I'm saying I want this kid on my team. The way he's battled, the way he's handled this kind of pressure, and continued to pitch through 7 innings.
Absolutely.
He's pitching the whole game.
Yeah. And there's a hard hit ball. He's a little bit of trouble, but he's going to come up with the play. The second baseman made a good play, keeping the ball in front of him, never gave up one.
He did, absolutely did. He kept it right in front of him and came up throwing, and that's what we talked about. The plays in the fields on both teams have really kept this game to what it is, which is we're going to overtime and
going to
extra innings, baby. Overtime in basketball, extra innings here
in baseball. All right, and so Kevin Arroyo is going to take the hill again, but we're going to take a minute and come right back. Don't go away, folks. Okay, and folks, we're back to an extra inning game in the first round of the GMCs. Woodbridge and South River Rams in a 1-1 tie. And Kevin Arroyo leads off with a strike. He's pitching to Dearson, that is Sebastian Dearson. Sebastian hit into a double play and 4-3 out, and here he hits to Gavin Slickner, who makes a nice throw
Nice
over
play
to
to get started. Yeah,
good stretch by Ryan Leach on that one too.
Good. And now we have the top of the order for South River, so Woodbridge has to continue to make plays in the field, and hopefully Kevin will continue to throw strikes and be dominant from the mound. But you know, you have your number one, your leadoff hitter, followed by Julius Rosado, who is, you know, arguably one of the better hitters in the GMC. So these are a big two batters here.
Yeah, and Rosado's been quiet this year. Today, he's been quiet today.
He has.
But you know, as you pointed out, you don't want a guy like that. He sees a pitcher a second and a third time,
Yep.
and they start to figure him out. When you're a good batter like that, and you know, as hotly recruited as he's being, you got to be careful. So if Kevin can get this out here against Sanchez. Here's a one. Actually, Kevin should not go after this one. This should be the first baseman's ball.
Oh, all right.
Yep.
So by about 6 inches, Woodbridge was unable to make that play.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember what, 2 years ago when the catcher ran out and Tyler had the collision, right?
Yeah, yeah. You really, and that one, you know, that one was hit right at the pitcher.
Right.
But you really don't like to see the pitcher running off the mound, going after balls. Yeah.
So it's 1 and 2 here to.
What a nice
2 and
pitch
2 to
outside.
Jimmy Sanchez.
Sounds like an actor, Jimmy Sanchez.
Jimmy Sanchez,
yeah.
yeah.
You know?
Sure does.
Oh wow,
He's battling here.
Yep.
So I don't know. We're not keeping track of pitch counts, but as you get into extra innings here, you know, even if Kevin is still pitching well, do you say to yourself, is he at that max? What is it, 90 or no, 90 pitches? I think it is.
Yeah, once he has that.
So he has been pitching for 6 innings, so he's got to be relatively close.
Both pitchers.
Yeah.
Yep, and there it is.
There
Strike
it is.
3.
Nice
so,
pitch.
Yeah, both pitchers are going to be in that situation.
Even if he's pitching well, you hit that number, you know, things change, and then you bring in somebody. But you know, with first things first, we have the Rutgers recruit and a
possible draft.
He took his stuff off. They're walking him.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's probably a very smart move.
Yeah, Kevin kicked up a little dirt. I don't think he liked it, but
he wanted to battle him. But
he's got to understand this is baseball right now, and you got to play the strategy.
You throw
here.
a pitch down the middle and he hits one out, you'll be a lot more upset than you are right now. So, with that being said, the batter number 35 is James Zori, who is the pitcher, who we've talked about so highly about. So, let's see if he can help himself here at the plate.
And Zuri is 0 for 3 on this one. Kevin got him looking on the last one. Throwing back.
All right. Luckily, it didn't go too far.
Wants to keep him close, but
you got to be careful. I mean, even though the fence is there, when you're throwing to first, that could go past, hit the fence, and go up the right field line. And our right fielder, you know, I know it's softball you cover, but he's very far away to back up. So
I've seen guys go from first to third.
Yeah, I mean, easily first to third.
Yeah.
So in a game like this, you want to keep him on his toes, but probably not the best move to be thrown over to first right now. I mean, unless he's leading so much that you think you can get him, but.
Kevin's got to work himself back in.
There he goes. All right. So we have a steal. He's will be interesting here. You got 2 outs. You have a good athlete on second. You know, do you look to steal second and third?
Another one?
I mean, it's extra innings here. You're trying to manufacture something. You know, like we said about South River, you're forcing Woodbridge to make plays. You know, that's the game you're in right now. Where if one overthrow or one, you know, miscalculation could lead to a run being scored.
This one, I would say, you know, let's stay on second. Because we do have the fourth batter up, the third batter up.
Yep.
And you don't want to make that third out on the bases like that.
No.
But you never know.
No,
you never know. So there he goes.
And
now, he didn't have to. Didn't have to.
He got an easier option. So now it gets very interesting here. You have the third batter up. He's got 3 balls and 1 strike,
3-1 count.
and we have a runner on third for South River. So
so you know, he can work himself back here. Let's see if he can get another strike. And that's a ball 4.
Right. So now they're probably going to force 35 to steal second, to force a throw, which obviously clearly our catcher will be more savvy than to fall for that.
Yeah.
But you're now putting up a lefty batter here, number 8. Hunter Kransky.
And Hunter hit a line drive to the second baseman in the last at bat, and it was a very hard hit ball.
Correct.
Yeah.
And he's made some really nice plays at third defensively. So
he's actually probably the batter that we did not want to face in this situation.
Yeah. And he's their only left-handed hitter, so I don't know how that factors in, but the others have all been right-handed, so this may factor in as well.
All right, Kevin leads off with a strike on this one. Okay,
Inside.
Runner goes. They're obviously trying to draw that play where we throw down, and
which
in
they're not even
this
considering at this point.
Yeah, you got to give it to them.
And I do have to say, once the sun went down, the temperatures dropped about 10 degrees.
It did.
So we have 1-1 with 2 outs.
Okay, nice
smoke on
pitch
that one.
there. Okay, 1-2. This would be a really big out for Kevin and the Barons.
Time. So 1-2, and batter steps out. This is an enormous situation here.
It really is.
And he's battling
this one off.
Let me see if I have my stats. I really like this Hunter Kransky guy. He's a heck of a player. It's a talented South River team. So Hunter Kransky is a junior. He's got 6 hits on the year, so he only has 18 at bats. So he may have been injured.
Maybe
a player
of
of this caliber to only have 18 bats, he probably is coming off of an injury, or just getting his shot. But either way, he's played a heck of a game in the field, and he's
18 at bats, 6 hits. That's not bad.
Yeah, top of the 8th. He's in a awesome spot here from a South River perspective if he can put the ball in play.
Okay,
it's outside,
2-2.
going outside, so
Not
2
a bad
and
one
2.
to waste. You get a pitcher, a batter digging in like that.
Yep. And so the Woodbridge catcher is looking over to coaches at the dugout, see which pitches he wants.
Gotta think we're going to be throwing a curveball here. Let's see.
Hey, got him.
What a nice pitch.
Awesome
nice
job.
pitch, boy,
Awesome
I tell
job. Huge pitch, huge spot. Man, second and third. What.
Talk about situations.
Yes, we got out of it.
All right.
And so here we go. With Woodbridge, we've said this every inning, but we need some hits and we need some runs, and let's see if we can get started off again and get this game over with.
All right, let's take a break and come on back. We are back, and here we are at the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, so this game has been stuck at 1-1. A lot of terrific baseball being played on both sides. Very efficient. And I think this is going to come down to, I don't want to say an error or a mistake, but both teams are locked in here. You've never gotten the feeling that either one of these teams is overwhelmed or...
No.
And now with the, as we mentioned earlier, let's be very frank, the 16th seed is taking the number 1 seed to extra innings.
Extra innings.
And the pressure amps up a little bit on that number 1 seed.
And it says a lot about the competition in Middlesex County.
Yep.
That we have divisions based on size of school, but it doesn't take away from the fact that those divisions are very competitive.
Absolutely, and if I'm in Group 1 Central Jersey, I don't want to face South River in my first state tournament game, that's for sure, and that's a rip!
But right at him. Right at him. So,
Ryan Leach.
Yeah,
Ryan Leach with a rip right at number 2.
It's how you want to swing the bat now, and now we have Derek Oxner, who's...
he's due here. He's
He had a hit in the last at-bat. One hit, I believe, and but Derek has been a solid hitter all year long. Leads him off with a curveball outside. Crowd is starting to mount up here. People are walking up here.
Yeah, I think people are home from work and realizing the game is still on.
Got a chance to catch it.
So now, I don't see anybody from South River warming up. So to me, that says he's either not close to the pitch count or, I don't know. They're very confident that they're going to go to the next inning. I don't know what's going on.
Or the pitcher's on the field.
That's correct.
Whoever it is on the field.
Very well said.
And Oxner hits one out to center field, and they're getting caught reaching, and they're dipping down and reaching, and they're not getting the sweet part of the bat all the way on the ball, and can't get the full swing.
Yep, and they're not forcing South River to have to really make plays because they're being hit right at them. So
yeah.
And the sun is no longer a factor. So up now is number 10, Michael
Gurovich
Jr.
All right.
And he's hit by, all right, we'll take it.
We'll take that one.
At this point in time, we'll take anything we can get.
Okay, so after that we have Brian German, has 2 hits today, and in each at bat he's put the bat on the ball.
Yep.
So he's 2 for 3. Last at bat he hit down to the third baseman.
And Woodbridge looks to be warming up number 10, Gurovich. So I think pitch count is forcing the Woodbridge staff to have no choice but to get him to start warming up.
Yeah, and looks like we have a pinch runner over there.
You can't bring a pitcher back in varsity baseball, can you?
No.
All right, so
No.
Leach is done then for the day. So, he's got to go to Gurovich.
Yeah.
Which, like you said, is a great option. But, we're getting into 8th inning territory here. So, getting into almost 9th inning territory if we don't get a run.
Got underneath that. You don't want to get caught over there. Not now. You got 2 outs. You got a good hitter up. Oh, low one. Okay.
Yes. So 2-0. We have 2 outs. The South River is definitely there. I'm very impressed with their infield today. Especially this side here, the second and third base side, really made some terrific plays.
There's a foul ball. That's out of play.
All right. Luckily, that's out of play.
And that is number 34, who is the pinch runner, is Jack Kobalakowicz.
Yep. Jack, only a freshman. Jack, whose dad was a great baseball and football player here at Woodbridge. Actually played basketball too, and then he played baseball and football at Rowan for a little while. So.
And there's a hit up the middle.
Oh.
What a play.
Wow.
He threw that with his glove. Who's that playing second base?
Number 3.
Boy.
That is number 3, Jimmy Sanchez.
What an outstanding play.
It is a shame we don't have replay today because that was a Derek Jeter-like toss.
Yeah.
And that is not easy to be going one way and to throw it back with your glove, and then the shortstop with cat-like quickness to be able to cover the second base there. That's
fully extended.
Wow. What a play by the
We're going to the 9th inning.
Second baseman. I thought it was in the gap. I thought that was good, but he terrific play. And now you can feel the energy on it, and understandably so. South River, what a play.
Yeah. You know,
And so, I don't mean to interrupt you, but we do bring Kevin back out. So obviously, pitch count at the moment is okay. But like we said, we got Michael warming up in the bullpen, getting ready here. So
we're gonna get what we can out of. And who's moved to left field on that one? So because Gurovich was in left field, I don't see a left fielder.
I don't think anybody moved there yet.
There's no left fielder.
Yeah, they're telling him now.
Yeah, they didn't send anybody out there.
Left. We're telling him now.
But Kevin's on the rubber. Don't throw a pitch, Kevin. I think they either forgot.
Well,
oh, okay. He's still warming up.
Gurovich was caught up in warming up, and they forgot to tell him that, hey, once there's 3 outs, we need you back out in the field.
Yeah.
All right. Well, at least everybody had situational awareness prior to the starting of the inning.
Yeah, because I thought that they could have
probably could have subbed, but
Simkovich back out there. But they had to get that because Kevin's obviously got to be getting close.
Right. I mean, next game if we do, well, let's keep track of pitches if they can, because it's interesting. It's a strategy. It is a huge because there's no indication that he's pitched too much.
No.
Because he's as strong as he was in the second inning.
Well,
but you know, there's pitch counts are for a reason.
Yeah. I'm a believer, and not everybody has the same threshold of pitches. And like you said, Kevin looks very strong, as strong as he did. But we're in high school, so we do have to be mindful of pitching injuries and the amount of pitches. Come on, let's see if you can. All right, that's a let off with a hit.
All right.
Okay, and
that was number 33 with the hit, Noah Barrera. And a good scoop up by Gurovich out there. That could have easily been misplayed, but good scoop.
Right here, I don't know if that was short. Oh, she can't hear me. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, only here on the left side.
So we have number 6, Julian.
Good job!
Okay, and there's a bunt, a sacrifice bunt, and they've moved the runner over.
Great job, Fox!
Okay, we have number 2.
Connected, but my right ear went out too. Okay. All right, so we are here in the top of the 9th with 1 out. South River has a runner on second.
Back. Gina, I got my right ear back.
I got mine back.
So we are, right now, we have 1 out, and we have number 2, that is Lell up, and Brandon Lell.
Yep.
And Brandon has, he's 0 for 3 on the day, but South River has a little momentum with somebody on second.
1 out, runner on second. And we gave him the thumbs up. Thank you, Will. So with a runner on second, South River's been knocking on the door in a number of innings here with runners on base, and luckily thus far they've been unable to drive anybody in. But one of these times they're going to do it.
So, oh boy, and here's an error, an untimely error by Brian German. So that'll be first and second.
All right, so first and second, we have 1 out. Up next for South River is number 21, Travis Maloney. So very few subs in this.
Yeah, they can lay another bunt down again now, and get something going. So let's see what they do. And Oxner propped up in his stance there, and maybe they're preparing for a bunt.
Yep, I mean, in a pass ball here, so kudos to him for being ready and aggressive here, because a pass ball here would probably lead to a run, which we definitely do not want.
All right.
It's a little bit outside.
And this is the 8th batter. So if Kevin can do what he's done in the last 2 innings, where he, takes care of business with base runners on,
yep,
we'll be all right. But then we'll have the top of the order coming up for the 10th if we can get out of this. Yep. 3-0 count. Got to work his way back here.
So 1 pitch at a time. Let's go 1 pitch at a time. Get a strike. Get back going here.
All right.
All right, good. There we go. Now we're back at it.
Yeah, get that bat off the shoulder. See what he does.
So, and obviously, any sort of hit out of the infield is going to lead to it, maybe even a hit in the infield here. So this is a tough spot here.
All right, throws that second strike.
Yep. So he's battling.
South River wisely gets the runner from first to third to take away the fourth.
Yep.
First to second to take away the fourth.
And much like we said earlier, Kevin is really a mature, confident, tough, mentally tough pitcher who's kept Woodbridge in this game.
Yeah, the infield comes in for Woodbridge. They got to keep the ball in front of them. Okay, ball's coming up our way, and here we go.
Good hands by my partner. That's why he's sitting in the head chair.
All right, man. That was you told me this was the hot seat.
I did. And you did it. You made it happen.
I saw that roof. That ball
the angle was coming
roof.
directly towards us.
It's right at us. Okay, and
it's a
that
pop-up.
ball is at Oxner. Oh, goodness. Thank God Ox made that catch.
Whoa.
Because he and Kevin were in the same spot.
And if the ball hits and rolls, that runner's going to score because they had nobody that was probably could have reacted quick enough to get it and to cover. But luckily, fortunately for the Barons, that's out number 2. So now we have up number 14, who is the 9th batter in the order of Sebastian Dearson.
Sebastian Dearson is 0 for 3. See what he does here. He takes a cut right away.
Good pitch.
I would do the same thing as Sebastian. Try to make something happen. A lot of times the first pitch is the best one you're going to see.
Set the tone. Be aggressive here.
Yep.
Get out of this inning, and then let's see again for the 10th time if we can manufacture a run.
All right. Off speed doesn't land. All right.
That's a little bit. That's a great job by Oxner.
Yeah, backhand
catching
there.
the ball, securing the ball. And I'm looking to our second baseman. He plays really out far. It must
Even
be
for a right-handed batter.
Yeah, he must like to come in on the plays, which is understandable. But a little bit of a slow number there.
That's right. You hit one into no man's land. And oh boy!
Tried to throw a curve. It was hot, just high.
All right. We'd like to take care of this batter right now because this is the 9th batter. You're going back to the top of the lineup.
Yep, and you don't want to walk, obviously, but the top of the order is looming.
Oh, another one. Yep.
A little bit high.
All right.
All right, so now we have the top of the order. Jimmy Sanchez is up. And clearly with 2 outs, this is a heck of a spot here. Coach Monaco coming out to the mound.
They're going to talk about it. Let's see if Kevin, hopefully he still has some pitches left in him. You'd hate to bring in another pitcher.
Gurovich is running in. That's a heck of a job to Kevin today.
Give him a hand there.
Give him a hand. That was an excellent job.
Yep. The fans are giving him a nice round of
well
applause.
Deserved. I mean, talk about competing. Talk about stepping up. Terrific effort by him today. So, this is, like we said, this is now where he's been pitching great, but the rules are the rules.
That's right.
South River is going to probably be in a certain situation, similar situation in a few minutes, and we'll see what they have. But now the dynamic changes. It's a different pitcher, right? Bases are loaded. It's a tough spot. But this is competition. This is high school sports. So this is what you play for.
Tournament play.
This is tournament play. They survive and advance, and he definitely. I mean, you had mentioned certainly. He'd be a number 1 for somebody else. So it's a pretty nice luxury to have to bring in the 9th inning a pitcher that's the caliber of a number 1 for other programs.
Sure.
As compared to somebody with maybe not much experience, or maybe somebody who didn't have the savvy or the toughness. But this is going to get interesting very quickly.
Absolutely, and we have Tyler Simkovich, who started off the game in left field, but he's now back in left field for Michael Gurovich.
Would he'd be our next pitcher up?
Who, Tyler? Could be, but I would think that we probably would see Munchie.
Okay, Munchie will come in.
Munchie's been,
which is a tough spot for a sophomore. So yeah, I mean, it's now in this win, survive, and advance mode. You have to worry about today's game. You can't be thinking about whenever the next one is. Yeah. You got to all hands on deck right now. So
that's it.
And I got to give both coaches credit. I mean, this has been a well played game, a well coached game. It's a high level of baseball here. It's not been overly exciting because there haven't been technically a lot of plays, but if you're a baseball fan, this is kind of game you can really get into.
Well, you get the throw that Derek made from center field.
Terrific.
And then the play that the second baseman made.
2 highlight reels.
Those are 2 plays that represented runs.
Yep, and showed that both sides have been engaged in this game and had to make plays to help their team win. So it's
well, again, we talked about situational play. It's bases loaded, 2 outs. This is when you're in the backyard with your older brother or your dad,
and you're the pitcher, and it's on you, and you're dreaming of being in this spot. So we got a really talented, tough kid on the mound. So let's see how this goes.
Sanchez is the leadoff. And Sanchez is, he led off with a walk. He had a strikeout. He grounded out to second, and he had another strikeout. So Mike starts off the right way with a strike.
Sure does. And we don't have anything to detect the speed, but that ball is pretty fast.
He's getting up. Yeah. Okay. Wow, that glove
very
popped.
fast.
That glove popped.
Very fast.
That's the kind of pitch when you hear late in the game.
Yep.
You hear that glove popping late in the game, boy. That has the crowd. Yes. Everybody's getting into it when they hear
it was
that.
One of those where you heard the pop and then saw the swing.
Yes.
So it shows you how fast it really was.
Ball's in the glove already. All right. Let's see if you can follow that up. Now, right now, you got one to waste. You can throw something off speed here. Let's see. Oof. Yep.
So, I mean, hopefully he throws strike 3, and then this would be another inning where South River has 3 men on base stranded.
Yeah.
So they've been knocking on the door, and it's been quite a game as far as that. Each team has been right at that precipice of scoring that second run, and neither one up to this point has been able to do it.
1-2 is the count, and it's an important pitch.
And then if, let's say he does get on base, you have the man for South River coming up next.
Oh, yeah.
So you want to minimize this here. Let's get a strikeout. Let's get a nubber and get out of this inning, because you don't want the down 1 and the best hitter on the team coming up.
You're right about that. Well, umpire says it's outside. He gives a little bit of
and much to the dismay of the Woodbridge section of the crowd over there, which again we're at a tough angle, but that looked.
Yeah, it was height-wise it was perfect in the zone, but umpire, you know, we got to give it to him. He's called a good game most of the game, and he's not giving any pitcher.
No, he's been very good.
Yeah.
He's been very consistent.
Down. So now we have a 3-2 count.
Full count.
Okay, so everybody's moving on this pitch now. All right. Everybody's going to be running. See what he can do here. He's got to work his way back. And you got to think Sanchez is only going to swing at something unless it's a perfect pitch.
Yeah. Here we go.
Ball 4.
All right, now, this feels like a lot, but right now, we're okay. What he's got to focus on right now is getting number 25 out. If number 25 turns and hits a double here, then we're going to be putting ourselves in a tough spot. So
we can't walk him.
No, it feels heavy, but right now, just get the next out.
Yep.
We're one run behind. You know, we'll live with that. What becomes difficult here is if this guy puts one either in the bleachers or if he, you know, even if he gets a roped base hit. So. But I do have to say that the Woodbridge bench, the coaches at the very least weren't very animated with that pitch, so they must have seen it. You know, normally if it's close, they're at the edge there, but
the batter knew right away.
The batter did too.
You know?
Yeah.
He started taking the step. Sometimes batters will try to fake out the ump a little bit.
This was pretty honest. Yeah. So we have 0-1 here with South River, who has now taken a 2-1 lead on the Barons.
All right, and that ball is carrying, and Bryant Pereira,
what a
gets under it.
I tell you, he turned and then turned back, but that was what we were afraid of, is if that goes over his head. But terrific play by our right fielder. But the Barons are now in a very, very tough spot. But let's.
And who do we have coming up here? So we have Bryant Pereira, Lukacek, and Anderson coming up.
Hey, I'll take those three batters anytime. Let's see what we got, and let's get it moving. So now, who's coming to pitch for South River, which is the key? If 35 comes back out,
and he is.
How many pitches does he have?
He's got to be close. He's got to be close.
Kyle, we're in the ninth inning. Even only 10 pitches an inning, you're at 90 pitches. He's got to be close. Well, they're clearly. I think it's the responsibility of the other team to keep track. So there's clearly no shenanigans or anything along those lines, but. He can't have more than 6 or 8 pitches left if the pitch count is 90.
So when I'm looking at the book, I only see that
he did have a lot of one pitch at bats.
Yes, so he's only had 4 strikeouts.
Right, so that would be the full.
I don't think he's he's had one walk and 4 strikeouts. So he hasn't thrown a lot of pitches because
he had 4 pitches that 1 inning. So but you would think being in the 9th inning, this is what they talk about all the time. There are a lot of professional pitchers that don't pitch 9 innings.
You're right about that. Yeah.
And I know there are other factors, but kudos to this kid. I mean, the elastic arm he's got today.
And Woodbridge has got to be smart up here because they would, coaches, I'm sure they've done their scouting, and they probably know who the second pitcher is.
Right.
Now, small school, I'm thinking that Rosado obviously is one of their top pitchers.
Yep. Well, let me see. I can take a look. I think I have the stats with the amount of pitchers.
You've got the stats there. Let's see who's second or third and pitching. Who we're looking for.
All right. So we have here innings pitched. Actually, Brendan Lowe would be the next pitcher up, but I don't know if he is on any restrictions, so maybe haven't pitched recently.
Yeah,
so
he could have pitched in the last game.
Yep, so a freshman, Borisovich, who He pitched 17.2 innings. Zuri was tied with Brendan Lowe for most innings pitched. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. All right.
All right, here we go. Woodbridge, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
He leads off with a strike. And he does not seem to have lost a lot off of his pitch at all.
That's what makes it so hard. I mean, neither did Kevin. And a credit to these kids that they're that conditioned, that prepped, that tough to be able to pitch through these amount of innings and without letting up at all.
No, not at all.
Okay, right at him. There we go.
Laces one up the middle.
Good start.
He had to reach down and get that too.
He hit it where the pitch was, which was a really good piece of hitting there. So Woodbridge starts off with a base hit. It is a 2-1 game. It is in the bottom of the ninth. So Woodbridge is in a now or never, do or die situation here. And we have up Nicholas Munch Lukacek, sophomore, number 9. Big spot here. So last time up they had Nick was bunting. Let's see what coach has in mind, and then we have Derek on deck, who's been aggressive and making plays all day. So Woodbridge is in a good spot here, and then the top of the order after that. So you got to kind of like what you're seeing here from Woodbridge as far as potential to generate a run. Please don't get thrown out at first.
Yep. I will say this: Suri's got a nice move.
He does,
and a good throw over. He throws it right at the base.
He really does. And from our vantage point here, that angle, you can clearly see on the line, right where it needs to be.
Back.
Okay,
he got back again. All right, safely.
I mean, we're at a point now where just put your foot on the base and don't get thrown out, please. There's nothing to be gained other than something bad here. But I'm sure coach just did the calm down sign, so hopefully that means good decisions here. Munch.
That's a pop fly to center. He's got to be careful, make sure he catches it.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so he put the bat on the ball, and not unlike a lot of the other plays, they're hitting him right at the fielder. So Derek up in a big spot here with 1 out.
Let's see what he can do. All right. All right, he's bunting. That is a bunt stance, I think. Nope.
No.
Okay.
Well, you would know, but
yeah. It looks like a bunt stance when he's straight up like that.
It means he's going to turn a quick turn.
Yeah, so he's straight up.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to square the bunt on this one. Back. Well, Derek has had some situations where he's bunted safely.
Okay.
In these kinds of situations, you know.
He's the quickest guy on the team, so it would make sense if he gets it in the right spot. Now, South River's pretty good at fielding these things, but the third baseman is back, and obviously the first baseman's nowhere near it. So I don't know if bunting. Well, now with 1 shot, I don't know if bunting would be awful, but
or he might have been in. That might have been a take sign stance.
Yep, he certainly wasn't low and aggressive, but here he comes now. He's focused. You can tell.
Yeah, 2 strikes. He doesn't like that one, but
you know, unhappy with that one. So now we got to protect here, Derek.
Yep.
I don't know. This is a little too close for me. I think, you know what, any other moment in the game, but you get thrown out here at first, when there's really no advantage. That's because, you know, unless you're going to steal for real, you're just doing it now and pushing the envelope a little bit. But let Derek get a hit here, and then he'll advance you. All right, good aggressive cut. You know, I understand you can try and make the first baseman make a play, and there could be an error, but these last 3 throws have been on the money, and it's been, 6 inches in the difference between being safe and out.
Absolutely. He's throwing back. He's safe again.
Safe again.
Yep, got back there, but I think the pitcher feels like he's gonna run on this one. You know, I could see the coach sending him on this one.
Not for nothing, I know. Don't think it counts against the pitch count, but that's 6 extra throws from there, which tires him out. And when it's the ninth inning, it could make a difference. So, I mean, I know there's a strategy to it. Yeah, Derek.
Okay, that's a hit, but right at him.
I mean, that's baseball. He hit the cover off the ball, and that catcher, that center fielder didn't even have to move.
Yeah, did not.
Left,
line
right,
drive,
it came
line drive
right, he put his glove up. And so I think we're at the pitch count now, too. I think we've reached the maximum. So now this is interesting. So
I don't know if there's a disagreement.
I hear somebody being very animated about something. So
maybe somebody else had the pitch count on him. All right.
So this is interesting stuff. You have 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. Your stud pitcher has now reached his limit.
Yeah.
Your other stud pitcher pitched on Saturday. So now you could bring in somebody who, hasn't warmed up yet. Maybe not at the level of these other two. And so the game's not over.
No, the game is far from over.
You could have somebody throw multiple balls.
Yeah.
And so what a dynamic, because otherwise that guy's closing out. If I'm on no pitch count,
I'm pitching him.
That guy's closing out.
Yeah.
So game's far from over, and they're having the mound number 2.
Brandon Lell.
Brandon
Lowe coming in. Let's see what he does.
Right, and Brandon Lowe, who is the junior, who has he's 32.2 innings pitched, which is the same as the person he just replaced.
He's
so
got a 3.64 ERA, and he actually has thrown 22 walks.
Okay.
So to your point about the ball,
he's leading the team in walks.
He's leading the team in walks, and
by 10. So it's by a wide margin, and he's been playing in the field thus far. So what a dynamic.
We should make mention that was a phenomenal game pitch by James Suri.
Like I said, I don't know a lot about college baseball, but if I'm a college coach and James is interested in joining my program, I would probably have a conversation with him, because that kid battled for 9 innings against the number 1 seed in the GMC, and would still be battling if he was allowed to.
I agree.
And what a credit overall to South River. I mean, the fact that we're here down 2-1 is, let's be honest. It's we're rooting for Woodbridge, but you have to acknowledge effort and performance, and these guys have gotten it done thus far. The game's not over, but really credit to a South River program. That's
16 seed right now. You're leading the 1 seed in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs.
16 seed had to play a playing game on Saturday.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot to this. So let's see though. We have up next number 6 Gavin Slickner, who's been really aggressive. He had a couple plays that just hit right at guys as well. So let's see how this plays out.
He leads off with a strike.
Yep. Totally different pitcher, smaller, different body build, but he just, threw straight strike down the middle here. So let's see if Slickner takes another pitch here to get used to it.
That ball was a little lower.
And if you notice,
inside,
this pitcher hasn't even looked over to first base yet. They probably told him, don't worry about first base. We got 2 outs. We're going to focus on the task at hand here, which is the guy at the plate.
Okay, 2-2. Let's see. So Slickner's got to protect here.
That's in the gap.
Let's see if that, come up.
Good
here
hustle.
Comes Pereira to third.
All right.
Okay, so.
Terrific piece of hitting there. Great job. Great job. And as you had mentioned, the speed of Brian on first, hustling around. So now the coach is going back out to the.
Now you've got an equally good batter up with Xavier Diaz.
Yep. And the
Let's
South River
see.
coach is now heading out. I
Gotta
don't
talk
think
about the
he's taking him
situation.
out, obviously.
No.
He's
you
probably
know?
just going to get everybody to realize if you're the coach here, the game, we're still up. You know, worst thing is that Woodbridge puts 1 run. You don't want to give them 2 if you're the South River.
It's still going. It is the bottom of the ninth. We are down 2.
So the South River coach is out there talking to his team. Coach Monaco is on the side talking to his batters as well. We have first and third with Xavier Diaz up, number 13. Woodbridge is in a good spot here after being in a tight spot with 2 outs. A huge hit by Slickner gives some life to the Barons. So a good piece of hitting by Slickner. Let's hope that Diaz can come up here and get it done
And deliver. We just got a call from our good buddy Greg Ficarra,
Oh.
who wanted to know how's the game going. I said, hey Greg, it's still going, buddy.
We're still in it, Greg.
Oh, right at the pitcher, and South River is going to win this game.
Yep. So that's it's a tough one for the Barons for sure. But if there is any consolation, South River's a pretty good baseball team,
They are.
and they earned the victory today. So credit to them. You got to give credit to a team that played very well, pitched very well, made plays, and actually had a few errors and kept fighting. So very disappointing.
Yeah, disappointing. If you get the 1 seed, which we were talking about, we can't remember in recent history when Woodbridge has had that, but this is what tournament play is all about, and it comes down to inches.
Yep, it sure does. And Woodbridge didn't lose today; they just didn't win.
That's right.
And that's the best thing I could say. They competed, they did what they could, and it's a crummy feeling. But this is sports. That's
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
And I feel for the program, but like I said, if you gotta saying anything about the Barons, you're discounting the effort from South River, and we don't want to do that. So
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate if you were here for the long haul today. This was a long game, and want to thank our crew from TV 35, Gina Forbes and Jeff, and any of the other crew members that were here today. We really appreciate it because we delivered a real quality game to all of our fans. Anybody who was watching, we thank you. Season's not over for Woodbridge.
clearly not. They got a lot of games left.
Yeah.
I know they have some pickup games in between now and the States. So you regroup, you keep working, you get after it, and it's going to sting for a little while, but it doesn't diminish what they've accomplished. That's for sure. So.
Okay. On behalf of my partner Bobby Tominski and myself, we want to thank you for following us and supporting TV 35. And let's get them Barons in the next round for the States. All right.
Go Barons. Good night, everyone.